Why must you hand out miracles for nothing? Are you trying to go for the you should be paid for what you do angle? Okay. Oh, was this another flashback to something? Wait, this looks like a weird, I don't know, operating table sort of area. It looks like another thing in the house, I guess? This has to be a flashback, right? I know that voice. I'm looking up at someone. From the ground? A woman. She's draped in a black fog. I can't make out many details. But even through the darkness, I know immediately who she is. She is Mother. Oh, is this like actually like having a dream to when you were born, Michelle, actually? My... No, she is not my mother. Okay, so this is your reincarnated self then instead. It's one of those other tragedy parts. Let's hopefully this is door one's white-haired girl version of you instead of the second one. The third one technically can be preferable as well, but door one, let's go with that. So you're the least amount of torture and emotional anguish after that, hopefully. She is... Why would you even ask such a question, Mother? We're barely holding on as it is, my dear. Okay. Is it not wrong to expect a little remuneration for our services? No, Mother, it is wrong. We have to be, selfless. We gotta help with the people. I mean, this is like that classical, just normal dilemma of we're low on money as it is. How can we actually manage to get money to get by for survival? And if we have this service that we can actually help people with, why not get paid for it? Maybe it depends on what the service is exactly. If it's the same miracle kind of blood, then maybe, depends, Miracles are not to be bartered for. God, the Father, does not charge for his miracles. So why should we, when I'm only borrowing his power? Listen to me, Morgana. Every time you give someone a blessing, you're hurting yourself. Oh, this is like way back in Morgana's life then. Okay, so it's back when mom was still around, I guess. If not for the miracle itself, you still deserve some degree of compensation for the pain. I know you're concerned for me, Mother, and I appreciate it very much. But I'm happy with the way things are. I'm happy to be able to help others with my Heavenly Father's power. A power you won't have much longer, my dear, if we can't afford to keep ourselves fed. Yeah. Yeah, maybe just because I'm more geared towards pragmaticism, but like I'll probably go towards maybe like having some compensation involved. It'd be one thing if you like living exactly out how Pauline even is trying to be, trying to put a lot of herself out there. But sometimes you just had to be a little bit selfish, because if you try to keep try to keep helping everyone else but not yourself, that's gonna it's not gonna help much in the long run. I mean, you could either help everyone else at the depletion of yourself until you run yourself ragged, until you're gone or dead or just you can't handle anymore, or you can keep sort of boundaries up and do things in moderation, and in the long run help out more people. It's like a give or take situation depending on what you have. I'm a saint, aren't I? Well, I mean, is the word saint in your name? Are you Saintess Morgana? No? Then get that on your birth certificate. Yes, you're my sweet little saint. God will not forsake his saint, no matter how difficult it may get. He will always provide me a way to continue doing his work. And you're the mother of that saint, aren't you? Yes, that's right. I conceived you untainted by the hands of a man. Then you must respect his will as well, Mother. It must be your highest priority. You're right. I was wrong, my dear saint. Mother. Mother. You agreed with me. You said I was right. So why are you taking money from that man? Mother. Mother looks over a strange men and shoved me into a carriage. The look in her eyes sent a chill down my spine. I see her lips moving. She doesn't actually say the words out loud, but I can't make out every individual syllable. Like, why is the text box and all that, like, describing mostly just, when we talk, it's literally just me instead of just Morgana or, like, all that? And why are you, like, putting so much emphasis on, the me and I, why are you, like, just emphasizing that so much? This is not the ending of 999. I is the not I is the doesn't make any kind of sense at all. I is the ninth letter of the alphabet, but that doesn't make any difference here, does it? Because you're worthless to me. Well, it kind of just sounds like you just wanted him, just someone to manipulate. It's kind of, I'm kind of more, It's kind like, it feels like the mom would actually push the issue a bit more, honestly, right? Instead of just, you know, quietly conceding, then to just go behind back to just sell, her off, I guess. Like, it wasn't a moment like she already had the idea in her brain that I'll ask my daughter one more time, and then if it doesn't work, then I'll sell her off to be a slave. Then, like, I'll get some money out of it anyway. And, like, this, like, weird sort of question or test, honestly. I guess she kind of said it that way, so, Morgana wouldn't, like, kick or scream, I guess, or, like, flee, honestly. None the wiser, I guess, before they showed up. I guess? Welcome, daughter of God. You'll be performing miracles for me now. It is interesting we're getting a tiny bit of the scenes, like, when Morgana was telling Michelle everything else. Like, we're getting a bit sort of, like, more in-depth detail instead of, her literally just explaining things in large swaths. I mean, I hope it doesn't overstay its welcome, but, it's definitely interesting. I mean, there had to be a reason besides that, just giving a general overview of Morgana's life, and then going scene play by plays of how the three of them, like, intersect and go into, like, what she handled. I think by this point, besides this part, before she became a witch in the countryside, help giving people herbs, and then at one point giving Mel the blood, this is probably the one part I don't think we have any inclination of what happened. So, yeah. Guess the section will just explain a bit of what happened back then before that time. And then Jacopo's will cap off the near ending of her life. And if you cooperate, I can guarantee you'll live more than comfortably. Miracles are not something to be performed for one single person's benefit. What? Miracles are not magic or parlor tricks. They are a precious gift, granted me by my Father in heaven. Using his power for personal gratification is a grave sin. I will do no such thing. I entreat you to think long and hard about your actions. Do away with such selfish desires and dedicate yourself to helping the people. The power you have been given was bestowed upon you by the hand of God. It is not your power, it's mine. He's merely allowing you to make use of it for a short time. Pride is a sin. Please consider how you conduct yourself. You're an ignorant, insolent child, aren't you? I bought you. You are my property. You can't buy the daughter of God so easily. You have no right to an opinion. Like, it's still so fucking funny, honestly. Like, the daughter of God, honestly, like, still think it's that weird thing of, like, if they actually do, like, fully believe, like, in the Christian God, at the same time, they still go into, slavery, honestly. Like, oh, yes, I'm a mortal man, enslave you, that means I am better than God, or whatever else, like, what? Like, I don't quite honestly get it. God, what? That is not my opinion. It was a prophecy from the heavens above. That is the way of the world, as God... Silence! You're not here to talk, you're here to perform miracles for me, my guests. Yeah, that was a segment, I guess, yeah. As I already told you, I will do no such thing. What you will or not do is my decision, not yours. The Lord sets a sickening laugh, then grabs me by the hair and knocks me to the floor. Like, okay, why does it keep emphasizing me? Me is the only thing, is just, we're seeing this through Morgana's eyes. Well, we're seeing this from Michelle's point of view, in Morgana's eyes, in the flashback past. Again, quotation marks. Why? Just why? I beg him to stop. But he isn't listening to a word I say. If we're gonna be emphasizing it, I'll emphasize as much as the story wants me to. It's gonna keep going until the flashback ends. Cheers! A saint's blood and a good fortune to all! Ha ha! I stare vaguely at the crowd gathered for the Lord's blood feast. Every time he has guests, he throws another party, and every time, he slices another part of my arms or legs open. It isn't long before they are an unsightly web of crisscrossing scars. Yeah. The Lord sometimes has trouble deciding where to cut, but not out of any sense of sympathy for me. He simply thinks drawing blood from an untouched area of my body will make it more effective. The Lord strips me bare. Perhaps I'll use your stomach today, Saint. I should be able to get some nice, pure blood from there. Stop this. Can you not comprehend that what you're doing is an affront to the Lord? I'm free to do with what I wish with my property. I honestly thought you were going to do a retort saying, I'm the Lord right here, honestly, which technically is kind of true. I mean, you're called the Lord, and you're the Lord God, honestly. Like, is it the reason back then, like, there's the whole, like, Lord of the Land? Like, people just get a title, even though, you know, like, Lord God should have the title instead. Like, I don't quite know the etymology or the linguistic, background for that, so, Saint or not, you're no different than any of my slaves. The Lord is greatly displeased with your actions. Then use your miracle power to deliver divine punishment on me. Go on. I mean, okay, lightning strike. Pew! You can do that, can't you? Your soul will be punished. You might see the effects now, but you will pay for your sins one day. Wait, I just realized, if this person also, like, did bad to Morgana, does that mean do we have to go back in time even more and save this guy's soul? Can we just not? Can we just not? Like, we're dealing with 3 people enough as it is. Can we just do with those, the trio, and honestly, that's it? And I'm gonna leave this guy to be cursed in peace the rest of his days, please. Morgana, you should have cursed this guy too. Honestly. You're not as threatening as you think you're a buck-naked girl. Don't give me that look, girl. I had no interest in taking that from you. Oh! Well, I would say you have kind of standards, but I'm just insinuating that in and of itself, honestly. You'd be lucky to find anyone willing to lay with a girl covered in disgusting scars. Okay, I can't tell if that means you would have before or not. Oh, God. All I can do is wait and endure day after day of torture and shame, of the Lord searching for new places to stick his knife. My entire body, except for my face, is covered in reddish black wounds. I mean, it's gonna be a matter of time until it goes through the face then, I guess. Someone, anyone help me. Get me out of here. Please, someone. Oh, Father, who art in heaven, I pray for you to lead me on to deliverance. Father, your trials, they're much too great. And keeps going until, yeah, leading up until the slave cart. Well, I mean, if that's the only, like, small scene there, at least it didn't outstay his welcome too much. Morgana. That was much clearer than the first time I saw it. Everything she felt, her struggling, her sincerity, her pain. We did see, like, bits and pieces of it. Like, but it wasn't, I think for that segment it was not as vivid, honestly. The sound of it was mostly just dreamlike, I guess, just seeing it from there. And her voice. It felt almost as though I was the one going through it all. Yeah, it's more dreamlike, honestly. I called it. The Lord. I can understand why Morgana would bear such a powerful grudge against him. I mean, is this the same, like, Lord Jacopo, honestly, or it's someone completely different? It sounds like it's someone different, though. Considering everything he did to her. Why would he do that, though? Wait, is it the same person? So, like, they put him on the cart and led to that. But that part of the story, even like actually, I completely don't recall too much, honestly. Off the top of my head. Is there some reason, some explanation for his actions? I mean, from the sound of it, like, it sounds like he pretty much just he plays into just keeping up a reputation. That's pretty much what his, the third door pretty much was. That's what the sound of it was. I mean, door 3 was kind of like having at least a status up. And then finding out, quote unquote, that white hair girl honestly was maybe cheating on him, was making a front to his reputation, so he kept doing more and more worse things because of that, instead of, even bothering to even try to see what was wrong, or actually even hear a side, led to that. So yeah. There is, I guess, that level of sympathy, I guess, of, like, someone doing bad things, but, like, not really having the strength or courage, I guess, to even bother to try to see, like, confront it fully. Just acting on it immediately and nothing else. Oh boy, another flashback time. Oh boy. I'm thoroughly exhausted. Okay, good. Like, if we have to keep getting through, like, those flashbacks too, I think it will overstay its welcome too. Like, I do like this game, but again, it does, like, it does stay in the details a lot sometimes, which I know is the point of, going through a lot of agonizing, like, events in life, and, like, still coming out the other end fine, honestly, with your own grit. Or just, manage to overcome it, even through just sheer will. But, sometimes it's literally just repetition, yeah. I'm thoroughly exhausted. Like, I've just been the last several months having my blood drained again and again. Oh, is that the reason you had the dream? Because, well, the swordsman or Yukimaz, we don't really know. I don't even know if he's picked a name out yet here, honestly. That, he cut into your hands, honestly, and that kind of, like, gave a weird fever dream, honestly, of that. Like, it reminds you in your sleep. My limbs feel like they have boulders tied to them. Just trying to get to my feet makes me dizzy. Ugh. It's, like, Giselle is still gone, so... She must be off doing some ghostly things. Let's not consider the fact that she might be gone. Or she's just back in the mansion for whatever reason. Just like, just like sitting next to the fireplace, like, wait, why am I here? Just like waiting for Michelle to get back. She's probably waiting for me by now. That was my first thought. I should get going. I had to do this. Move, damn it. Fighting against my body's attempts to succumb to gravity with every step through sheer force of will. Wowee. I make my way to the courtyard. So first talking to Maria, and then Jacopo. Hi. Oh, there you are. Thank God you came. Sneaking onto church grounds is a bit unnerving, so if you... Are you alright? Look, you just came back from the dead. Kind of. I'm fine. Are you not even gonna bring up what happened, honestly, to her? Thank you for coming. Now, continue our conversation from yesterday. Whoa, slow down. Who do you think you're convincing? You look about as fine as a fucking corpse. Yeah. If we're not feeling well, we can always do this some other time. No, has to be now. Now. Just start shaking immediately. And whoa, what happened to your hand? It's a minor injury. I just tripped and all my fingers individually broke on their own, of course. Nothing of any significance. Seriously, who do you think you're convincing, man? It's still so funny that to this point, like, besides, I guess, hiding, I guess, the whole reason why we're here to begin with at first, to Mel, that we're hiding that, like, every other time, telling the truth is technically beneficial, and this is the one time you're like, nah, well, let's lie, honestly. This is better, honestly. This is a better choice to make. Like, okay, I don't understand where your priorities are. I guess maybe a bit of chivalry and, like, making the speed run, I guess. I'm, making sure everything's in place, but still. I can get around just fine without a few fingers. You gotta take yourself into consideration, too. You can only run on raw determination for so long. The adrenaline for 4 straight days. And imagine how it makes me feel for a second. You asking, talking, showing up looking like that. If you want to get anything done, you've got to take care of yourself first. Head on back to your room and rest. Let's do this some other day, okay? When you're feeling... I don't have that kind of time. Noon tomorrow, that's my deadline. I have to take care of everything before then. I know damn well what condition I'm in. That doesn't change what I need to do. If I don't, I can't save Morgana. I can't get Giselle back. Who's Giselle? It makes it all the more important you get your rest. And when do you suggest I do that exactly? Honestly, I don't get why you're such a damn tizzy. Yeah, like, again, like, he wants to make sure everything's fine, but yeah, still, like, do your talk with Jacopo, then rest, then wake up and do all that, like, you can the deadline, I guess, a bit, but, if you're, like, that exhausted, it probably wouldn't help things at all. I'm pretty sure, like, if with the few times I tried to, do the same thing of, like, force, like, even when I'm exhausted, to force to do some stuff out, it mostly just feels like I'm just ending up, wasting time because, I just realized the effort was kind of bad because I wasn't all mentally there because of mental exhaustion. So that's your conversation, maybe you should rest. Maybe. Because well, maybe, that's the thing with Jacopo, honestly, that's a toss up in the air, honestly. So maybe like conversation there and then a bit in the morning, honestly, or Get a hold of yourself, man. I am plenty calm. She didn't say anything about being not calm, okay? Don't put words in her mouth. You sure don't look it. You're already pushing yourself to the edge. I don't want to be responsible for giving you that last nudge. So quit bickering with me, get your ass back, and get some rest. You don't understand the gravity of the situation. None of you do. You don't grasp what great an effect stopping what happens tomorrow will have. I had to keep moving, even if it means crawling through the dirt. If I don't, not only will I fail to make things better, Morgana's almost certainly got even worse fates in store for all of you, so long as her curse lives on. I'm the only one who knows what awaits. So that makes you what? A prophet or something then? Not exactly, no. I'm actually gone! When the terms of this time period. That'd be the most apt description. This time period? Do you not believe me? Well, you know, that is asking a lot. Just imagine having your entire life story just being told in the future, honestly, and just ask, okay, you understand now? Process all that? Okay, good. We need to do this next. Immediately. You can't think about it anymore. That's fine. You don't have to. At the very least, I want you to believe that don't do this again, please. Don't do this, Michelle. Genuinely believe something terrible is going to happen tomorrow if I don't do something. That I think I don't have time to waste. Please don't. All I need you to do is tell me what you know. Could you do that for me? Assuming you are actually a prophet or whatever, why don't you just, get the hell out of town? Did we not just explain why I'm just to help out? Say, fuck it, this is too much, and vanish in the night. I mean, I'm technically thinking about it like, well, maybe like, Michelle had the option before, like, technically in his own door, when he was asked to live his life in the mansion for over a decade, and apparently not give any letters to his brothers at all, and only his mom, apparently. Like, I still think that was the worst thing imaginable, honestly, just that. Like, literally, like, Jesus, seriously. No one's gonna blame you if you do. Hell, is anyone even gonna notice you did anything if you do succeed? I'm not in this for attention or praise. I cannot sit idly by knowing what I know. Seeing what has happened and what will. Knowing what Morgana went through and what she felt. I can't abandon her. Not anymore. I can't let my own knowledge go to waste. Oh, it is true that the mansion will continue to be wrapped in darkness so long as Morgana's curse remains in effect. Do we know that for sure, honestly? Or are we just thinking that Morgana is, I guess, the new controller of the mansion? The mansion itself is its own ethereal, an ineffable force, honestly, that takes someone else in to, like, lead its helms. And nothing can be put to rest until I do something about that. It's not my sole motivation anymore. I sincerely want to help Morgana. Hey, selfless. Altruism. And Giselle. There's that too. Is this what you meant when you told me you wanted me to save her? You seem like the kind of fellow who's always fretting about something or another. Like, very daydreamy, always lost in thoughts. Everyone's already picked up on that. Everyone's already noticed that. Wow, we read like a book. You don't know how to take it easy, do you? Yes, he didn't even bother to try to actually let loose, even by himself, for 10 straight years at all. He was just a sourpuss for the entire time, doing nothing else. Right in the money. Though I guess in a way, that's kind of why you can fight so hard, huh? Alright, you win. I'll talk. Anything you want to know? I'll tell you. Thank you very much. But you sit your butt down first. Don't stand up. Sit down, mister. Okay. Rest. Relax. Drink this wine. Eat this popcorn only. Morgana said that? She did. She described her 3 years there as one of the brightest periods of her life. Oh, continuing off that conversation of like asking how like Morgana's time there from Maria's perspective was a bit, yeah, and talking about that, giving her a bit of solace, honestly, too. Huh? Who'd have thought? Damn, that's kind of really great to hear. Did she never tell you herself how she felt? She never really made much intent to be part of the group. Was like she had these colossal walls all around her? I can see that. Yeah, so I always kind of felt like I never knew if I was sticking my nose in too far or not, you know? She appreciated what you and the other woman did for her. After the raid 4 years ago, she ended up in the hands of a slave trader. Yeah. As she was being transported, she said this, with tears in her eyes. I'm sad because I didn't get the chance to show my gratitude to the people very dear to me. Well, damn. Understatement of the century. So is that, you know, absolutely 100% exactly what she said? You're not just pulling it out of your ass, are you? No, I'm pulling my mouth. Those were her exact words, yes, as hard as it may be to believe. Wow, how cheesy. Nah, I believe you. I'm just surprised is all. I mean, just, wow. Yeah. If I'd known that was how she felt, maybe I could have been a little friendly with her. You weren't friendly with her? More like, I guess, like, because, like, they were a bit cold, like, that kind of, like, they usually talk to normal, like, a normal cold person, I guess, or someone who, like, is a bit antisocial. You probably just naturally just put your distance away, even if you're being nice. If, like, you kind of knew what was going on, like, you would probably just be more friendly, or that's kind of, immediately makes more sense, yeah? Nah, not especially. I mean, that's not to say I was cold or anything. Just that all the girls get a bit of distance from her. Not because we didn't like her, but because that's what it looked like she wanted. Some space. Some distance. Yeah, exactly. None of us were really cut out for the caretaker gig. As much as we'd love to be some kind of mother figure for her, we just didn't have it in it for us. Who was closest to her? He's dead. Oh. The slave. Huh? What's about slave? There was a young man, a slave participating in the revolt of the Lord's Manor, who saved Morgana's life. Oh yeah, that's the guy. He was the closest to any of us to her, or at least he gave her the most attention. And he's 6 feet under. That's unfortunate. What can you do? People come and go. That's just the way of things. I thought that maybe if he were still alive, that would improve our chances of saving Morgana. Improve our chances? There's only one way about it. We smash the Lord's fucking skull and take his key. That's not an option. doing that will not alleviate her hatred. That's the, just imagine our gears going ahead. God damn it, we have to do this emotional crap too now. Would you be willing to accompany us when we go into the observation tower? Huh? Me? Why? I want you to be there to say something to her. I'll say whatever you want me to say once you've gotten her out of the tower. Don't you think being able to hear the voice of someone she cares for when she's finally set free would do more to pull her out of the darkness than anything else? That's all the more reason it can't be me. Why not? Like I've been saying, I was never that tight with her. I was like, expecting that, honestly. But still, like just the fact that you're there, like one of the people that first are there, it would just give some respite, honestly. Of like just imagine just like if we only went up there with the 3 people, honestly, like Jacopo, Yukimaza, Mel, like including the people that are closest to them. I don't think any of them would give her any kind of respite in any sense of the word. But you being there would give some pause, honestly, because if you're there, that means something's changed, something's different then. And that would get her gears turning too. Like she'll actually start wondering what's happening instead of just thinking this another ploy or something else. I kept my distance. I can't do anything. Not the reasons you give me for why she's so full of hatred. I had no other options, though. You could put it way better than that, Michelle. You know, actually, while I'll doubt this too much in the way of getting rid of her grudge, there is something I was supposed to give her but never got the chance to. Oh? It's nothing special, just a rinky-dink little necklace, but if you get the chance, would you mind giving it to her? If anyone, that should come from you. It's not from me. It was supposed to be from the slave. He got it for her as a birthday present, but that was the day the brothel got raided. So yeah, that's the story. Make sure she gets it, would you? Again, it would be better, honestly, if you did it, honestly. Again, please. Okay, I will. Thanks, man. Well, now that's out of the way, I should split. Best of... There you are. Who is this? Who is this? Oh, hi. Oh. You were in your room and I was worried sick. What are you two doing here? You're going to talk to the Lord tonight, right? So... It's a chance you might be able to set the Sanctus free. No way am I going to miss that. That's why you're here? That and to say goodbye. I want for them to make reparations as soon as the girl's released. Do you feel the same way, Nellie? If Mel tells me he wants to, then I won't stop him. But he was threatened, so it's possible. I don't think there's any need for him to rush to be punished. Yeah, I don't want to lose my brother. Sure, there are other ways he can atone. That's reasonable. I do feel guilty about what he's been put through. No, it's not your fault what he did. Anyway, I'm really anxious about tonight. I'm sure I'll be turned out fine. You'll make it work, won't you, dearest Michelle? I'll do my best. Oh, come on, you gotta act confident. Act like a man. God damn it. Take her my mail for me, too. That's what I imagine what they will say. God damn it. He's very fragile, so hit him with care. Like a big old box of china. Okay. Is he really that fragile? I don't know. Grab some bubble wrap and just wrap him up into it then, apparently. As for me, if he looks like he's gonna do anything he shouldn't, would you stop him for me? I wish I could be there to do it myself, but, well... He insists only the people directly involved should be there, and I want to respect that. Okay. I was never gonna allow anyone to get hurt anyway. That's good. Thank you. He and the Lord may have caused the girl a great deal of pain, but I still don't want anyone to get hurt. Some people deserve it, and I say let them have it. I don't blame you there, honestly. Sometimes, yes, honestly. Now, Maria, don't be like that. It's kinda true, honestly, sometimes. You're the weird one, Little Miss Perfect. Go around letting everyone off the hook for everything, and the whole damn world's gonna come falling down around you. He did what he did for me, though. Even what he did before he met you? There's that too, I guess, but like you don't really care about that. You only care about everything he did after he met you, so there's that. This isn't just like about you though. At all. And the Lord, he's only in it for his own profit. Much as he says it benefits the city, it still comes back right around into his own pockets. The Lord's not a bad man, though. You're gonna say that after I'm finding out that appearances are not everything? Oh my god. It could just be a thing of like you think of understanding of who he is a bit more, but oh my god. Yeah, I've heard 1,000 times. No one's a bad person in your eyes, I know. Now, can we please try to keep things civil? Yeah, sorry, bad habit, I know. Just like I'm picking fights. It's fun. I take a lot of rot, but I don't really mean half of it. I do think he's much better than the old lord, though. The old lord. Hold on a second. What did you just say? He's better than the old... When did the current lord take his place? 4 years ago? What? Morgana was 9 years old when she was the Lord's Manor. 7 years ago. Maria, were you ever the Lord's Manor at any time 7 years ago? Nah, I was never hired by anyone there. Then when? She didn't have any interaction with the Lord 7 years ago. Oh, now it all makes sense. How did I consider this possibility sooner? I know what kind of man he is, and I know the people he had around him. Maria, is the slave, actually dead? Oh, okay. Like, it's kind of confusing how you're doing it run around. Because, like, if that flashback before we just got was literally just her interacting with the Lord itself, then, like, yeah, it's someone completely different. But then playing into... So then what... Okay, then, so what happened then afterwards? Like, he had, like... So, like, what? Like the brothel, like, he literally just gave a lot of attention to her, and all of a sudden, fire broke out, thievery, and somehow he managed to pretend to be a lord, and then decide to do everything, finding out everything about, Morgana, and just completely turn tailcoat, honestly. What does he think happened with her, or does he just not recognize her? That doesn't make any sense at all. What? Actually, just what? You better have a damn good reason for this. Oh, hi! Hey, it's the third! Oh, look at that, all the tables have a person sitting on the sides. I came because you said you had something important to discuss. Look at that, now everyone has some bread and cheese. Well, except for Mal, he is having stew. And Yukimaz is having bread. Are we only just having wine? Now, care to tell me who the hell this white-haired man is and what he's doing here? At this point, I don't even know. I keep forgetting the voice I gave for all of them, honestly. I feel like I remember liking the voice I gave for Jacopo at first, but after this long, I completely forgot the voices I gave everyone to differentiate them, so oh boy. You neglected to mention we'd be having company. I'm the one who asked him to arrange this meeting with you. And who the hell would you be? He's an angel. Or a prophet. What? Did you both finally snap under the pressure? I'll leave it to you for you to decide what you think I am. I will say, though, that I know everything. I know you got a girl in prison in the observation tower. I know you're taking her blood and calling it medicine, passing out of the church. Which one of you squealed? No one told him anything, he just knew. He knows everything, including my deepest desires and what happens in my next life. He's probably peering into your very soul this very moment, looking into every single, like, blood vessel and crevice, honestly, in your very soul and body and mind. You're not getting out alive. Unseen. You've completely lost it, I see. Well, how you got your information doesn't matter. All you need to know is this. What are you hoping to gain from it? Wealth? My downfall? What? Morgana's freedom. I want you to give me your key, and then I want you to tell me your story. I've come here from the future. The future! From the world after Morgana's death. It's a regular Back to the Future situation here. Her soul courses with hatred for the three of you, and she's placed a curse of eternal suffering in your souls. Has everyone at this damn table got mad? Everyone that has those thoughts at first, then you join right along with the crazies. Did you seriously think I would believe that nonsense? Don't interrupt me. My objective is not so much to rescue Morgana's physical body from the tower, but to save her soul from eternity of loathing. I can't achieve that on my own, however. Because I am not from this time. I have had no direct interaction with her or anyone else here until just recently. In order to make her have a change of heart, I need to gather the truth of people who are from this time. And I suspect that you hold the last piece of the puzzle. The biggest piece. Okay. That you have a far deeper connection with Morgana than anyone else here. No, I'm all but certain of it now. Your perspective is crucial in accomplishing my goal. Tell me your whole story, please. How you ended up capturing and imprisoning Morgana, what you thought and felt along the way. Just, dump everything out. Therapy session, go. Your truth will get through to her. I know it. That'll be the turning point in all this. Her curse will be no more, and you'll be all returned to the paths you're meant to walk. Everyone will have their salvation. Someone throw this madman out. To be honest, if you've completely just like, oh yeah, here's my story, honestly, I would have completely just been like, what? Who are you? What's going on? I won't do it. Neither will I. Damned worthless curs. Quiet, lowly cur! Lowly cur. Ah, he's fleeing! Tackle him! Go! I'll call the guards then. Who do you think I am, exactly? I'm the lord of this land. Okay, what's your name? Okay. Like, from the sound of it then, like, the whole reason the whole different names they're coming up is because everyone, like, took a name, honestly, or given a name, or pretending to be a different person. Just to have that, so that makes more sense now. Taking with that in account, like, his name, that everyone calls him by is something completely different. And if he has not said a word of that, of his actual real name to someone else, and he's playing up this lord act from the entire, like, from square one, then do we just say your name is Jacopo and all of a sudden you're like, what the fuck? Under ordinary circumstances, I'd never so much as deign to speak with you, lowly peasant. Now, get out of my sight, wave his hand. Gone, be gone, shoo, shoo. I'll take it as an act of aggression, you'll find yourself without a head. In this room right now, you're not a lord. You're a lone man. Till you hand over your key, we're not letting you leave. You'll find there are any guards for you to call. You're all alone in this estate. Your preoccupation with it staying out of sight played right into our hands. Accept your defeat, Lord. We've already agreed to set the witch free. Cowardly worms. It's only just them calling someone an animal, like the insult, honestly. Okay, so we have calling someone a dog, we have curs, we got worms. What's the next one? What's the next one that comes out? Ironic coming from you. I didn't think you'd turn co quite so eagerly. None of your kid sister are in on it too, I take it. We're only working for you. We were only working for you. Never felt any sort of allegiance to you. Loyalty founded on what one has to gain or lose is far more resilient than uncertain, fluctuating feelings. It appeared this white-haired man started that foundation. How long have you been colluding with them, Kerr? I arrived in this era 2 days ago. What? 2 days? Yeah. In just 2 days, you got these worms dancing for you? Yeah, playing the tango, doing the jiggy. They're not dancing for me. They're standing right there. I merely spoke with them, and they listened. You're a disturbed man. You couldn't possibly have won these two over in a mere 2 days. Speed run strats, okay? Speed run strats. This is what I call the psychological soul maneuver. He's no ordinary man. And as we said, he knew everything. While I was talking to him, I felt like he was looking directly into my soul. It's definitely unusual, and yeah, I feel like he's known me my whole life, even though he just showed up out of nowhere 2 days ago. I didn't believe what he was saying at first, but he knew things he couldn't possibly know. My secret wish, something I never told anyone ever before. I don't know what kind of tricks you're playing, but now I know why I'd never seen you around. If you've been working in the city for longer, sticking your nose where it didn't belong, I would take notice sooner or later. I'm impressed. In only 2 days, you managed to convince them both to betray me and set me up. I am indeed the one in charge of this operation. If it was the witch you're after, I'm the obvious target, yes. The 2 dogs there surely have some pent-up rage. So, I take it you're gonna tie me up, then torture me until I tell you what you want to know? That's not a bad idea. What do you say? If this was a normal situation with the curse not involved, it kind of would work, honestly. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. But no. Give me the word and he's in ropes. Wait, we agreed we weren't getting rough. I had no interest in solving this problem with violence. For now. I'll keep doing that. I don't care. Like, I sound callous, honestly, from all this, but for now, for everything that's been happening, for now, we're here to uncover the truth. We need to exchange blows. Only words. Words, just truth blade words, honestly. The words will cut deeper into his soul and then be internalized violence. Just psychological wounds. Anyway, if we were going to beat out of him, we would have done so as soon as he walked through the door. We discussed beforehand, we're only talking. No one's getting into any fights. Well, physically or verbally. Well, psychologically verbally, does that count? You know, you're just speaking a very calm tone of voice, but you're still, psychologically cornering someone. There's still that. Right. That's right. Exactly. Well, looks like I got no way out, so... Oh, you got me. Hands up. I surrender. Take my key. Go open the tower doors. What? That was easier than expected. Your key is not important right now. Your perspective is what I seek. Why did you make it so the lock required 3 keys? 1 person is more than adequate for the job. So why split it 3 ways? I mean, I can understand, like, maybe, like, adding a second lock as well. 3 seems, like, purposeful. Is that any of your concern, Kerr? Imagine it's just, like, another secret plot twist, which I know is not the thing here. Like, purposely wants to be cursed along with taking 2 people down with them. Doesn't make any sense at all, but, like... Was it because it was too much weight to bear it alone? You didn't actually went to prison, Morgana, did you? Somewhere went wrong. You backed yourself into a corner and couldn't escape. I'm done listening to you. Am I right? Or am I wrong, Lord? Or should I say, Jacopo? Finally, name drop! Jacopo? But isn't his name, Jean-Francois Barnier? That's Lord Barnier to you, you insolent child. You seem to be a bit confused. I'm a son of House of Barnier, which means I'm royalty. No, you are not. I don't know how you came to start calling yourself Barnier. There's not a drop of royal blood flowing through your veins. The slave revolt at the Lord's Manor 7 years ago? You were there, weren't you? During the revolt, you helped Morgana escape. That's right. You saved your life once. That was you. You were the slave from 7 years ago. 7 years passed? I still can't believe how, like, the Ace Attorney series, like, there's a big thing of him, 7 years ago, 7-year time skip, 7 years this, 7 years that, 7. Slave? Are you out of your goddamn mind? Me? A slave? Like hell, a former slave could become royalty. You did it, though. You went from slave to lord. Wow, what a American dream it is. Enough. I don't know who's filling that white-haired head of yours with this drivel. I'm done listening to it. Say another word and I'll throttle you myself. Keep slandering my name, I dare you. Maria told me the slave from back then was dead. She didn't mean it literally, though. She meant he wasn't who he used to be anymore. Maria? You been talking to her, too? Because she was afraid of Morgana found out. Well, you confirm that you know who Maria is, Soma. I can't believe Maria is very metaphorical when she speaks, honestly. Wowee. It only served to throw her deeper in despair. The man who had once saved her was now responsible for keeping her imprisoned. Do your ears not work, Kerr? I said I've had enough. I need your perspective. There's more to the story, I'm certain of it. I refuse to believe you acted only for your own benefit, only to cause her pain. If you want the key so damn badly, then take it, just chucks it. Set the witch free, I don't give a damn. But if you say another word, I'll help your goddamn fucking tongue out. Hi. Again, the key is not what I need right now. Well, I was also proving my point too that reputation status is what he really wants to focus in on. Makes sense a lot. I need your story. Are you deaf or just an imbecile? That's a new one. That's a new lineup. Your perspective is crucial to saving Morgana's soul. Enough. When you were a slave, you helped Morgana escape from the Lord. Silence. And you spent the next 3 years with her. Just one more fucking word, I swear to God. So how did you end up here? How'd the boy from 7 years ago go from saving her to locking her up and stealing her blood? There's no excusing your actions, no. But please, I need you to tell me how you got to this point. Enough! Michelle! The next thing I see is a dagger in his hand pointed at me. I reflexively try to push myself out of the path of his charge with my dominant hand, which sends a jolt of excruciating pain up my right arm. I'll rip your fucking head off! The Lord swings his arm up, and the necklace spills from my pocket, making a metallic clink as it hits the floor. When he sees it, his eyes go wide for a brief moment. Of course, I'm just as slack-jawed as him. Hey. Okay, everything is now, what the hell is going on? Everything is covered in ash, everything. Why am I looking at a familiar cloud of inky black darkness? Oh, are all of us together here in Purgatory Land now? Oh boy, time for a nice roller coaster ride with everyone involved. So this is where I was for the last, I don't know if time matters here, but for the past who knows how long. There's no one answer my question though. And no time to think about it either. I have to make a decision right now. Oh god. The Lord, daggered rays, is quickly approaching. Off to the side, the cloud darkness is expanding. What? Reach in the darkness to the Lord aside. Well, let's go reach in the darkness, why don't we? If anything else, I'll just save back here, honestly. I reach my hand in the darkness, spreading from the necklace. I'm kind of just curious. And as soon as I do... What the hell is this? What's that black stuff? Just seeing life flash before our eyes. The blackness swells, consuming us all. No, stop. What is this? Don't make me watch this. His shouts fade in the distance. Oh wow, he's already picking up honestly what's going on. Reach into the blackness and just make your own door from it. Just reach both hands in, pull out a giant door and open it. Let's rush inside. My mind and body are swallowed up entirely. It's the same thing that's happened whenever Giselle and I open a door. The same darkness I've gazed into again and again, and again and again, that cursed mansion. That house that exists outside reality. Far, far off in the distance, I can see a gentle light, like a hole ripped out of the darkness. Green grass and colorful flowers rustling in the wind. I don't understand. The darkness. It was never present in the past. It was, I thought, a phenomenon restricted to the realm of the dead. So what is it doing here? I don't know, the curse just wanted to see the sights, honestly, with us, everyone here. But even my questions are, in short order, swallowed up by the void. Soon, my body ceases to retain its form, leaving only my consciousness to view the sights, sounds, and emotions of someone's past. I become an observer, as I've have many times before. That technically means that everyone's coming in here to see all this, so it's gonna be mental torture for him. Oh, font change. Format change obviously means something is gonna go happen. Something's gonna go down. I'm staring into a pair of ruby red eyes, open wide with shock. I recall snapping at him, insulting him. I don't remember what I said, nor do I remember how he responded. All I know is that a wave of churning blackness appeared out of nowhere, washing me away. I'm powerless, helpless, hopeless. My young mind sucked into it like a whirlpool. Young? My young mind? Oh, for Christ's sake, you have got to be kidding me. Why, the love of God, why? By being made to look back at this part of my life. We swap perspectives. And we're going in novel form instead this time, instead of visual novel form. The miserable, stupid fucking romantic I once was. Why am I turning back into the boy I tried so hard to forget? Where does absurd black smoke come from? Why can't I get out of it? This white-haired man is doing this to me. He's not an angel or prophet. He's the goddamn devil himself. Pretty alluring. Still. But all my questions, my confusion, my frustration, everything that composes my present, is superseded by that darkness, wisping away into nothing. Aw. That little sketch shot, honestly, of the two of them, honestly. I'm just a really big fan of, sketch art style. To be blunt, the world's a small place. There's an unimaginable amount of it out there. We only ever get to see a minuscule fraction of that. And it goes so doubly so for us. And the poor barely get the chance to see any of it at all. And those who are born to affluence, well, they have no idea just how small our world really is. Never yearned for the world outside what I knew. I more coveted it. A splash of spite mixed in. That's a nice little recipe right there. I wanted to claw my way up to the mountain, knock all the bastards down who had never seen what it was like the bottom. If I made it high enough, I could do anything. I would have complete freedom, and just become one of them anyway, honestly. If that sounds like a childish fantasy to you, well, you'd be right. That's exactly what it was. There you are! You spent so much time in the graveyard that one of these days someone's gonna think you're a gravekeeper, or maybe a grave robber. I can understand a gravekeeper, but I take offense to the suggestion I look like a grave robber. I'm praying for the souls who have no one to see them off. The girl, named Morgana, turned around to face me. Though I'd known her for some time, I'd rarely ever looked her in the eyes. Her face is almost always concealed beneath a dark hood, revealing only the tip of her nose and sometimes her lips. Honestly, I don't get it. Why do you care so much? These are souls that have no one else to pray for them. At best, they may get a bit of lip service from the priest once or twice. It's a responsibility to offer a helping hand to the sick and the poor, to pray for the abandoned souls. What I don't get is why you need to pray for the dead at all. They're just a bag of bones. Well, I hope you enjoy eternity in hell, blasphemer. Hey, that wasn't called for. I'm just joking, obviously. You take black humor to a new level. Morgana gave me a curt shrug, then turned away. She never faced anyone head-on for very long. I mean, she had a perfectly good reason for it. It wasn't because she disliked me or anything. I don't think, anyway. Hopefully not, hopefully. About 3 years earlier, something had happened that caused large patches of flesh to fall off her face. Supposedly, she looked fine before then, but I only knew her as she was at the time. The rest of her body was covered in wounds as well. but applying ointment to them had reduced the scarring significantly. Her face, though, showed no signs of recovering. A close friend of mine, a prostitute, said she thought it might be a psychological thing, but regardless, I continued applying the ointment to Morgana's face. Hey, come on, don't turn away from me. This is like a weird placebo, honestly. I know you can hear me. I brought ointment, so let me put on you. It's a waste of time. You don't know that. Your arms look much better than before. It won't be long before your face starts healing, too. The ointment isn't free. You're wasting your money. It's my money. I can use it however I please, so just shut up and let me do this. You're an obnoxious man, you know that. Take my medicine! What was that? You want me to rub it in real hard, huh? Fine. The forlorn graveyard is their backdrop. A young man applied salve to a girl's raw, exposed flesh. It was quite possibly the least romantic sight in the world. I would, at the very least, preferred a somewhat more pleasant location. As a thought floated through my mind, I let out a defeated laugh. I could soon feel her glaring at me. Wait, are they around the same age, or... Morgana can be a bit standoffish, but honestly, I didn't mind. For her, this was actually quite sociable, in fact. When I first met her, she didn't act her age at all, but now she's trying to show signs of the 12-year-old girl held inside. Okay, maybe I completely forgot her age. Let's okay, why is it one of your thoughts? 3 years prior, when I met Morgana, she'd been the victim of unspeakable abuse at the hands of the Lord. I didn't know why he had done those things to her. I didn't ask either, because I knew doing so would only reopen old wounds. All I knew was that the Lord was so far gone as a human being as to brutally torture a 9-year-old girl. In time, the only thing I'd ever seen to come out of her mouth was the word of God. Everything she said or did was ostensibly for the benefit of others. But it felt to me like she was acting out of some sort of sense of duty rather than genuine concern. Oh, that's an interesting thing to think about it, but yeah, it's literally, since she feels like it's a role put on her, she, tends to act that way because she thinks she has to do it for the job, I guess, and not, I guess, her own selflessness, I guess, in a sense, maybe? That's an interesting way to think about it. Honorable, but ultimately hollow, shallow even. I much preferred this Morgana, even if she could be a bit jaded. What are you hoping to get out of repairing my face? I'm not trying to get anything, I just wanted to heal you up. And here I thought you were going to try and make me work at the brothel. How many times do I have to tell you? I'm not going to make you be a prostitute. What other reason could you have for wanting my face to get better? Because I want to see it. Isn't that enough? I mean, she just still keeps the hood on you if you, put the ointment on her? Oh, okay, then. Doesn't that make it, harder, I guess, to point it on, honestly? She just doesn't, take the hood off, I guess? Okay. Like, just accidentally poke her eye out, I guess, because you can't quite see it. I don't know. Just so we're clear, that wasn't me hitting on you, okay? A thought never occurred to me. She felt quiet, sitting there motionless as I rubbed ointment into her face. Her skin beneath my thumb was rough and unpleasant to the touch, and honestly rather stomach-churning. It was hard to imagine her face would ever heal. It's the thought that counts, though, right? What I said about wanting to see her face is true, but what I wanted more than anything was for her to be able to live a relatively normal life. I'm prepared to be let down if I ever do heal. That possibility is just part of the fun. You have as much tact as a worm. No tact and bad taste. I'm a real winner. It's a wonder no one throttles you in your sleep. Being a guy, of course, I would have been pleased that she turned out pretty with her face healed. But her life was guaranteed to be easier than now, no matter what she looked like. That was what really mattered, ultimately. I can't, I guess it'd be better, honestly, if you were closer, a preteen or something like that, if you were that young, those many years ago. But, from the vibes I'm getting, it was mostly just, he's, a couple, several years older, a bit more of adult, now as a lord, instead of him, Morgana being locked away as is now. So, I'm just having a bit of, the ick. I can only imagine how hard it was to have your life turned completely upside down at the age of 9. A large portion of us in the slums had our share of misfortune, but hardly any of them stacked up to what Morgana had to bear. She had no parents. When I asked her about her mother, she'd gone cagey with me, so I assumed she'd been sold off. When I asked about her father, though, she just pointed up to the sky, which I took to mean he was dead. A young girl, no family, sent off all on her own to some strange land. Somewhere along the line, ended up in the Lord's cruel grasp. Misfortune felt like an understatement of anything. That said, it wasn't just out of any pity that I gave Morgana so much of my attention. The other reason, though, was, well, she'd probably go running if I told her. Hell, I wanted to hit myself over the head. I'll still be your friend, even if you turn out to be the ugliest girl in the city. You should be grateful. How is it that you haven't managed to chase off everyone in your life yet? I act like a decent guy around other people. Okay, well, they're good friends anyway. Do my best to fit in. And why are you such a dolt around me? Just do my best to fit in. So you're saying this is my fault? Yeah, it's your fault. I want to fit in with you. Everyone could use a thorn or two. It makes them exciting. You especially. Okay, that should be everything. Does it sing anywhere? Not particularly, no. Alright. Oh, also, finish up here and get back to Maria soon. Unless you'd rather I drag you there. Why? Seriously, your goddamn birthday, that's why. It's the day that it happened, oh boy. And? What do you think, dimwit? She wants to celebrate. Get back there soon, okay? I'm planning to drop by too. Okay. I'm wondering what about the bandits themselves actually turned him into becoming a lord, or like it had nothing to do with the bandits themselves. Like somehow he just managed to worm his way into him pretending to be a lord. Honestly, it could be that a princess and the pauper situation. Oh my. Someone looks close enough to him, a lord, honestly, or not. Some weird coincidences or not. She gave a sheepish nod, which is honestly kind of cute, but of course I couldn't say that. Yeah, especially with like, like not hearing this music in the background, the sort of like almost scratchy static too. Honestly, you know, something to be a bit peaceful or a bit ethereal. It has that sort of quality of being like wrong, or like things are just feel wrong all entirely, or just awkward. Ooh, it's nice. Like even like the static, like, and then the piano taking over, honestly, like, oh. But trying to keep it almost that facade, honestly, that everything is completely and utterly fine. Nothing bad is going to happen at all. So I shrugged my shoulders, feigning exasperation, and turned to leave. Once I might have offered to accompany her back to the brothel, but Morgana never seemed keen on the idea of walking anywhere with me. Maybe she's afraid of grown men, or what happened to her at the Lord's Manor. Or maybe she just didn't want me to be seen with someone who looked like her. So, hey, I thought you were leaving. Oh, slopping it back and forth, okay. One day I'll show you the world. I won't get my hopes up. Get your hopes up, damn it! I said with a soft chuckle, and took my leave. I had every intention of making good on that promise, and I had more than enough reason to believe I could. 3 years back, there was a slave revolt at the Lord's Manor. That's not quite accurate, though. It was not a revolt, it was a one-sided slaughter. Because while I was partly responsible for inciting the riot, I wasn't actually a slave. The look of the Lord was spoken of, and whispers, the second coming of the great tyrant of old. Though, okay, some weird prophecy thing, or what? The people were constantly grumbling about how he seemed to treat the land like his own personal playground, exploiting everything and everyone on it for his own personal amusement. When enough stress and resentment builds up in a contained place, all it takes is a little shove from the outside to burst. And that was our plan. Me, a number of other dissatisfied citizens gathered together to pop the bubble and give the Lord a taste of how we felt about him. With the help of a slave trader, I infiltrated the Lord's Manor. I had known slaves were treated well, but seeing it for myself, I thought most of these people would have been happier having been born as a dog or cat and owned by someone who actually had a heart. If only if that was someone that was better, honestly, back here. It was a revolting, flagrant injustice. Broadly speaking, There are two types of people who seek injustice in the world, The first are those who have everything, who sit unchallenged at the top of the world, looking down the less fortunate with pity. The second are those with nothing, who wish to overthrow the entire system, keep them down. There's also that sort of back and forth. You can view the story different ways depending on what class you're with that movie, Parasite, honestly. Whether you're more well off, and view the park, like the normal family, honestly, the family that we're following along as the main characters for, as the actual parasites and leeches, or literally if you take it the other way around, like the rich or parasites going after the poor, honestly. Which to be fair, it works both ways. So yeah, it's a mutual parasitism, okay, apparently. Once I was inside, I went around their manor telling all the slaves about our plan. Most of them had long since lost the will to fight, but with enough assurance there were people on the outside ready and willing to help. Glimmers of hope started to return to their eyes. Finding out they weren't alone, that they weren't helpless anymore, had an incredible effect on their morale. And once the slaves were convinced, the revolt began. It ended up being much larger in scale than I imagined, and many lost their lives in the process, but the majority of them managed to escape. Naturally, the slaves couldn't stay in the city, so I directed them to people waiting outside who could take them to their city or a neighboring country. I had neither the money nor the power to guarantee them a good life on the outside. Yeah, the money or power to give them a neutral life, then? But that hardly mattered to them. Everyone was sure that wherever they ended up would be better than staying, and I prayed that would be the case. It was during the revolt that I saved Morgana. I would have sent her off somewhere else like all the other slaves, but she was in so dire a condition when I found her that she could hardly even move on her own. She'd been sapped of all her willpower. So that was it again. I wonder if Morgana actually recognized, like, Jacopo then, honestly, and then that hatred has fueled her as well. But I'm curious now, like, why, like, that has been brought up until now as, like, a last plot twist, honestly. Not even just, like, for the sake of the plot twist, like, just a last reveal. But, like, just trying to think of, like, how, like, she probably been thinking of the hatred on us for so long that she never even bothered to even hint about that. And, like, I guess, like, close friend, honestly. Like, am I betraying her, honestly? I guess if, like, that came up, you would just think that'd be Mel, honestly. If you thought about it. I don't think I remember hearing if she said anything about their main distinction anywhere. So, So I brought her to the brothel where a friend of mine worked and asked her to take Morgana in. My companions and I reveled in the revolt's success. It wasn't enough of an accomplishment to have any real political implications, but we still felt like heroes. Just enough to save a bunch of people and all that, but nothing for a big worldwide scale of a war. Drunk on victory, we started talking about going bigger, starting a full-on revolution. Viva Revolution! And just the whole country itself just going to flames now. Once the elation passed, though, we realized there wasn't much more we could do. Even if we did manage to start a large enough uprising to kill the Lord, we were only peasants. I mean, you could still kill the Lord, honestly. Not only did we not know the first thing about ruling, the other counts would never acknowledge our authority anyway. Oh yeah. We pretended to be in control until the next in line showed up, and that would be the end of that. So we just ended up sitting our thumbs, no way to do anything about our discontent. Skip forward to about a month before Morgana's birthday. One day, a middle-aged woman approached me. I never met her before, but she had wavy hair that reminded me a great deal of my own. Looking me straight in the eye, the woman said, I was once a maidservant for the Barnier estate. They'd done their best to keep it quiet, keep it secret, but I child with the previous lord. And that child is you. The revelation came completely out of the blue. Okay then. Like, so you actually, like, do you actually have that blood in you, or, like, they're trying to give, like, a sort of legitimacy, honestly, to you being authority and in charge, honestly, and that went to that. I mean, I'm trying to think actually if it's better or not, like, it's like a ruse they managed to break in when you're actually just a complete nobody and still managed to get up, or like you were born there unknowingly and raised, I guess, like normal people and then just took your rightful place. Like, I would go more from just subterfuge and pretending you actually are of royalty instead of it saying you are, honestly. That'd be way better, though, so, according to her, I had royal blood, and if we could convince the lord of that, I would become royalty. Furthermore, she, as an alleged mother, could return to her old life in the manor. The woman urged me to take action, to meet the lord, reveal my lineage, and reclaim my rightful place in the Barnier house. Rightfully on the throne, Jacopo Barnier. I don't know if it doesn't really ring up the tongue as much. I would no longer be a poor peasant living in the slums. I would have a comfortable life. I obviously wasn't going to agree on the spot. That'd be pretty naive of you if you did. Her story was so blandly dubious I need some time to think on it. If she was telling the truth, though, it could transform our revolution from a dream into reality. We couldn't be restricted to inciting inconsequential uprisings. I could seize power legitimately and make some actual change. So I asked the woman to give me some time to consider. Have you decided what you're going to give her? That was the very first thing I heard when I stepped through the back door of the brothel. Maria, a short, blonde-haired prostitute and good friend of mine, flashed me a devilish smirk, and that led to that pendant, honestly. You going to grab that, which I don't know the full, big context for. Slorp. I bought a necklace as per your suggestion. Girls appreciate that sort of thing, don't they? Most do. Me, I got a taste for knives and other such pointy things. Well, you're one of the more exciting ones then. I doubt she has much interest in those, though. Yeah. Sometimes I wonder if you actually are a girl. Anyone could see that Maria and I were close, but our relationship was strictly platonic. Yeah. Of course, given her line of work, it was unavoidable that people thought otherwise. And honestly, it irritated me every time someone suggested we were anything more than friends. So are you, just leans closer into ear. Best friends? People have this annoying, short-sighted tendency to assume that just because a guy and a girl are friendly, they must be intimate. It didn't matter that she was a girl, and they thought of her as a friend, and as best as I can tell, that's all she thought of me as well. Marie and I first met when we were children. Even at that age, she was already a prostitute, myself a petty thief. Oh god. We were both incredibly lucky to have survived to adulthood with only ourselves and watch each other's backs. It's possibly the only reason either of us maintained the willpower to survive this long was because we both had each other to bitch about life to when things got bad. Yeah, it can make all the difference, honestly. Someone to complain to. So, today the day? Are you finally gonna tell her how you feel? Excuse me? Tell her how I what? Don't be coy. You know exactly what, and it's about time you manned up and told her. I think you got a better chance than you think. Do we need to remind you how old she is? 12, as of today. Practically an adult. I was knee-deep in dick at that age. Oh my god! Holy fucking shit! You're comparing her to you? The longer you hold off on saying something, the more difficult it becomes. Break a leg. Party's gonna be in the back, so there won't be any customers around to interfere. Alright. I do remember what Maria had said as I watched her disappear down a brothel corridor. Oh, this is. I thought it was a random stranger, like example, honestly, saying doing like a random stranger, basically, just like as an example, just like so you, Maria, are pokes pointer fingers to each other, more than friends. God. She wasn't wrong. She wasn't overanalyzing. I did indeed have special feelings for Morgana. Women seem to have this strange, somewhat terrifying ability to read people's minds. Well, they can read them more cues, I guess. Or like maybe just be like how they're just looking into things, honestly. Just based on circumstances, maybe. Don't have any say over that, obviously. And Maria was a prime example of that. Had never once so much as suggested to anyone I might think anything of Morgana. Maria had somehow managed to pick up on it almost immediately. Fortunately, she didn't seem particularly bothered by the fact. Though if anyone were to find out, I can imagine the looks I would get. If it's because of the age gap thing, I mean, Morgana's 12 and I was 22! I thought you were younger than that. What the fuck? That wasn't normal. Yeah, for shit it's not. Never felt this way about anyone else that young. Oh my god. God. Any other girl Morgana's age just looked like another kid to me. So why was she any different? Oh my god. I don't want to know. She was covered in scars, and every other time we met, she would tell me to go to hell, and she refused to walk anywhere with me. And no matter how much ice I broke, I could never seem to get all the way through. Yet still, the world felt like it was just a little bit better place when I was with her. Maybe I want to see her smile, no matter how grotesque her face. How would I even go about saying it, assuming I actually did? And if your face still isn't healed in 4 years, I'll take you as my lifetime partner, Morgana? God, no, that's terrible. That has to be a better way to put it. Oh, it was already in the past, so I can't really change or say anything else about it. Like, hopefully it just went bad. Or like, oh wait, this is a month before that, so, oh god, we're gonna have to see this whole entire, like, confessional scene, are we? Oh god. And I was getting stressed out, and it was all thanks to Maria. This was to be a day of celebration, not of fretting over stupid personal matters. Not long after I arrived at the brothel and made my way to the back room, Maria and a handful of their unoccupied girls showed up. Morgana, who was supposed to be the guest of honor, was even more reticent than usual. Oh, this is the same day you were planning to do it on her birthday? Okay. Well, okay then. At least, based on what we know of what happened today, it's kind of better that maybe you never get that, thought at all to, even say that out loud. The prostitutes chatted amongst themselves about work in unabashedly graphic detail, trading info on which customers are good and which customers are bad. All the while, Morgana looking incredibly uncomfortable. You guys think you could maybe change the subject? Heck, we have anything else to talk about? Making one the birthday girl want to hide in a corner defeats the whole purpose, don't you think? Oh, no, don't mind me. I don't have anything I want to talk about. Morgana said almost in a whisper, her head downturned. At least eat something then. The cookies are barely sweetened and dry as rocks, but they're edible. They're edible. Like, the cookies don't have any sugar in them, and I'm completely dry, and they completely have no nutritional value at all, or just there, just stale, like, decorative rocks, honestly. But eat, they're good for you. Jacopo, you little bitch. You had some stones that should talk my cookies to my face. Stop it, Maria. Stop throwing things at me. Throw everything, please. Even more. The other girls cackled as Maria and I bickered, hoping it might have elicited a reaction from Morgana as well. Just like a glance over at her, but she remained expressionless. You are right about one thing, though. This is Morgana's day. So let's change the subject, Maria said with a little laugh, having hurled everything within arm's reach at me. Here's the plate and platter, smash against head, bleeding, but don't worry about that. Bring the cake out. Like you said, I don't have anything to talk about. Just immediately just start chanting birthday songs. Sure you do. You just look a little harder. Look deeper into your soul. I'm not saying you have to reminisce for us. It could be anything. So the wallpaper here is a pretty nice color. Let's see. Here's an idea. Are there any guys you got your eyes on? Oh god. Let's see my tea over my table. There is. I started choking, and you died. What? Seriously? Holy shit! Who is it? Tell me. Who's the lucky guy? God. Isn't that your dad? Everyone fell silent. Maria gave me a sympathetic look, and I knew exactly what she wanted to say. Sorry, kid, you ain't got nothing on God. I mean, any other circumstances, just like him, I want to fall in love with that deity. He's pretty hot. He's all powerful and all of that. Nothing can beat him. Oh, gosh. Asshole. If you're gonna dream big, right? Yeah, I get where you're coming from. Pining after the all-powerful, all-knowing God. I'm with you. You bald-faced liar. The grass may be a hell of a lot greener up there, but it's a bit far, don't you think? I'll grab a telescope. You're better off selling it for the weeds down here. Did you just apply my weed? Ray looked over and gave a wide grin the sight of me grinding my teeth, then continued. Say, the young man over... Oh my god. Wait, stop right there. Don't say another word. Whoopsie me. In my big mouth, I almost did your job for you. God damn it, Maria. This is not good. Like hell's gonna let her corner me into saying it here. I still glanced at Morgana, but her gaze locked on her knees. I couldn't see what, if any, kind of reaction she was having. Morgana, what she was trying to say is that I didn't, like, Maria make a whole entire thing of, like, saying, there's no customers out here, like, you can do this all alone, like, no one else can overhear this. Why are you doing this in front of everyone, honestly? What? I had to go. What? I have to go to the bathroom. Sure. We're gonna get up from her chair and left the room in silence. Then a Molotov through the window. I imagine I was making a rather flaccid expression. What? Because as soon as Morgana was gone, Maria began cackling like a madwoman. My reply was the nearest object, courtesy of my throwing arm. Loser. How hard is it to just say it? It would have been easier behind corner me like that. You think I would believe you would have done it without a little nudge? I would have. Eventually. Eventually you're gonna cut it. Now's the right time. And don't worry, me and the girls will make fun of you for getting your rocks off to little girls. This is the reason I like her. Besides, I would wait at least 4 years before. God. Doesn't mean you can't tell her now. I think it'd do her wonders, really. She's, well, you know. I think knowing someone cares about her lighten the load a bit. When she comes back, give her the necklace and tell her how you feel. If she turns you down, we can all have a good laugh about it. I guess in a sort of sense, this is kind of interesting to read, I guess. But the cognitive dissonance, honestly, is like, yeah, like it's definitely interesting. But yeah, it's uncomfortable. Well, look at that. As uncomfortable as she was making me feel, she had a point. It's definitely like it's both the same way. It's kind of interesting in a way. Like you don't really read this kind of stuff too often. Of like. I know there's one book called Lolita, which is Lolita's perspective of a creep like predator, honestly. And like, oh god, there's a whole entire conversation about how the movies of said book are terrible because they literally, in the way they're trying to portray it, honestly, they completely negate the entire point of the book in the first place. That's a conversation for other videos, honestly. Not my video, just for other video essays, honestly. Like, God, I have not read the book at all, but I've heard everything about those. Like, oh jeez, it's dark. But yeah, as uncomfortable as she was making me feel, she had a point. Regardless of whether Morgana reciprocated my feelings or not, there was a good chance that that just putting them out there would help in breaking down the walls she had built in her heart. And maybe one day that can be a reality. I would actually be able to see her smile. I'll do it. I'll tell her. It didn't matter if I come out looking a loser. No, you're definitely gonna be pathetic. Doesn't matter how you spin it. Didn't matter if Morgana wasn't interested in me in that way. What mattered was that she knew someone accepted her, regardless of her appearance or the things she had been through. And if by some chance there really was royal blood flowing through my veins, I could make good on my promise to show her the world. I could put an end to her life of poverty and abuse, replace it with one of comfort and wealth. I could buy her even better medicine, so that it could actually heal her face. If I truly were royalty, I could do so much more for her. It doesn't sound like I want to be some kind of fairy tale hero or something. I mean, I get your sentiment, but still at the same time, like, oh god. It's probably just like, it's only just like the whole same thing of just the notion, honestly, is uncomfortable. Like, I know there was that, thing that, like, I understand the point the story is going for, and I actually kind of find it like, I would say noble, but like somewhere to some of that amendable, honestly. They're actually even like broaching the subject and talking about it and trying to talk about it in probably more genuine fashion, I guess. A bit messy, I guess. Like just the notion itself is just, you know, uncomfortable. But yeah. But honestly, I wouldn't have minded that. If I was gonna make her happy, to wipe out all her past misfortune, why couldn't I make it a little dramatic? Well, I mean, if there was ever a time to bring out a confetti popper. It wasn't usually my style, but in this case, I wouldn't have objected to a storybook ending. And then she turned you down, and you decided, to screw her. I'll just lock her away. Like, where'd that come into play? That you immediately just turned. Gosh. This though, no, this wasn't the kind of story I was hoping for. The heavy curtains separating the guest rooms had been torn to shreds, and they were splattered with blood. A man, apparently caught without enough time to defend himself, lay splayed out naked on a bed, his empty eyes fixed in the ceiling. The whole area reeked of blood. All I could do was stare, stupefied at the carnage. What the hell? Why? How could this happen? My dumbfounded muttering went unanswered, though. The few who were still alive could no better make sense of the incomprehensible massacre than me. Then suddenly, the sudden arbitrary upheaval of our world. The inexplicable, inescapable reality. Shortly after Morgana stepped out, I heard a woman scream from the front of the brothel. Next, a man shouting. At first, I assumed it was one of the customers losing his temper over something. The tone of the scream seemed somehow off for something like that. It wasn't long before the noise escalated to alarming levels, so I dashed toward the source of the shouting. A good dozen men, bandits or maybe thieves, they seemed more organized, had raided the brothel. They slaughtered all the customers, stripping them of any valuables, and they tied up the girls, killing any who resisted. The first thought that rose to my panicked mind was that I needed to find Morgana. I need to get her out of here no matter what. I couldn't let her birthday turn into a tragedy. Like, someone protect that cake, we'll get her out of here. But like, what was the thing that led to them being separated and everyone... Maria knew that he didn't die, but like, this day kind of like killed him. I guess in a personality type way, I guess. So, yeah. She'd already been through enough. Had to make sure she didn't suffer any further. And just another time you mentioned before of like, I want to see her smile. I didn't want to make things worse. So you could just, you don't need to keep repeating that honestly several times. I had to make her life into something good. I searched and I searched, but there was no sign of Morgana anywhere. Until suddenly, something seemed to crash into me from behind, causing me to stagger. It took a few seconds for the pain to set in, which is when I looked down to see the tip of a knife sticking out my gut. Blood streamed along the metal surface. There were little bits of flesh caught on the edges. Oh, yay, it's a serrated knife, yay. I turned around just in time to see the man holding it kick me away. Before I had time to process what was happening, I hit the floor and lost consciousness. If I were a hero, I could have surely eradicated all the violent intruders in the blink of an eye, saving everyone. You're not a superhero, my god. Protected that which I wanted to protect. Not had to lose anything. But I was just a mere boy. A boy? You were already an adult, though. A weak boy helpless against a few robbers. A useless boy unable to protect anyone. When I woke up, Maria was kneeling over me, sobbing. No sign of the tough, foul-mouthed girl I knew. Aside from her, there were other girls also crying, leaving only 4 survivors. Apparently, I wasn't dead. Looking down, I saw my bare stomach wrapped in blood-soaked bandages. The brothel lay in ruins, a bloody pile of torn bedding, clothes, and bodies. I made my way back to the front, and all I could do was stare, stupefied the carnage. Like, what was it? From the sound of it, like, you just think that Morgana died there, and then, because of realizing that maybe the kid love honestly just completely died, like, that just more, like, changed your entire heart. Honestly, to be more hard to take than royalty blood deal, honestly. And then, for who knows how long, for those 4 years, I guess, then you'd took it. And then, what, you just heard something about witch living in the countryside? And if Morgana was hiding everything about herself, even her face from everyone else, just like giving some like herbs or medicine, honestly, to everyone else, and no one said a word of her appearance, like it just turned into a whole thing of him asking to kidnap them, and then when he realized who it was too late or something like that, but he didn't do anything else. Or he knew from the start it was her. Like, God. Yeah. Yeah, some love it is. What the hell? Why? How could this happen? My dumbfounded muttering went unanswered, though. Maria stood beside me, quietly rubbing her trembling arms. Where's Morgana? Couldn't find her. Why not? Sorry, I looked everywhere. Couldn't find her, I'm so sorry. Or that means her body wasn't anywhere. I wanted to say I wasn't blaming her, but couldn't find the words. If I had power, I could have prevented this from happening. What kind of power would I have needed, though? Precognition. Super strength, I guess. Fire resistance, I guess. Bulletproof, I guess. The physical strength to overpower the thieves? No, I need to think bigger. If I weren't a peasant, but someone of real influence and import, no one would dare stand up to me. No petty thieves would ever even consider a raid on me. I have the power to punish anyone who tried. Regardless, this would have never happened at all. I was supposed to give Morgana a good life, to show her the world, to make her smile. If only I had power. Absolute unflinching power. And that begins the spiral into madness of wanting to have as much power as possible. Until now, if I'm going into the darkness of this amulet, him having a mental breakdown, the front he's putting on about being powerful, and the lineage and status and reputation, honestly, like being stripped away, and how it looked in the very bare minimum. Yay. Are you literally just saying, like, he literally just grew up this whole persona just because of this one incident, honestly? I mean, like, what was it? I understood, like, being, like, hardening himself, but, like, to the point of doing that, like, there has to be something more, I guess, like, other small things that happened in between then and this. If this is the only thing that happened which made him harden into it, like, I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. Like smaller moments, like, from here until, capturing, Morgana the Witch type deal. Like, it was only just this, and, like, that's just kind of just bullshit. If I climbed to the top of the ladder when the chance was offered to me, this all could have been avoided. The top of the ladder? If only I ascertained my place as royalty a month earlier, as the woman who claimed to be a mother had urged me to. Oh, I wanted power. The power to keep everything I cared about safe. The power to change this damned world. The power to stop those filthy thieves. The power to keep her by my side. I wanted power. Power! P-O-W-E-R. I heard about the attack at the brothel, and that you were hurt. I'm so glad to see you're well. About a week after the raid, I went to see the woman who professed herself my mother. As you expected someone who had served at the old lord's manor, she was very elegant and graceful. The shack where she stayed, though, was a shabby, drab place with a bare wattle and daub walls. You were concerned about my safety? Of course. Should be a mother who is not always concerned about her child's safety. Says the woman I'd never seen until a month ago. Physical distance has no bearing on a mother's love, including those who must sell their kids off for the very second they don't fit the mold of who they think their child should be. Drop of a hat. They don't love the true child, they just love their idea of them. That kind of mother's love. She said with a soft smile. Age had clearly begun taking its toll on her. Could see hints of former beauty. If you got to speak of the Lord and revealed your lineage when I first came to you, you never would have been in that kind of danger. Wow, right rubber in the wounds, honestly. Just splash me with lemon and salt, honestly. Why don't you just serve me on a platter, then? God. There is still time. Go to the Lord's manor, show him... I'm not really your son, am I? The woman fell silent for a moment, observing me. See the resemblance between us, yes. I had no memories of my mother. It would be nice if she were to show back up someday. But it just wasn't likely. This whole thing felt extremely contrived. Yeah, that was my first thought. Discussions will progress much smoother if we both know what the other wants of this arrangement. Start by telling me who you really are. Were you actually maidservant for the previous lord? Jacob would nod, then walked over to a grimy shelf and retrieved a ring that looked very much out of place. It was made of gold, engraved with an elaborate insignia. And it makes sense why this random, lady, honestly, who worked there, again, hear about the revolution, maybe helped with it as well. Like, once this next step to happen, to take the lord down, honestly. and this is probably the next best thing, I guess, from back then. Maybe, if there's no other better plan. Look at this. It's the Barnier family crest. The previous lord gave me the ring as a gift. I kept it ever since. Even after the relationship was discovered and I was chased out. I didn't sell it, because I knew I was with child. They will have no choice but acknowledge you as a legitimate heir if you show them this ring. Why'd you wait so long to come find me then? I was afraid that I might kill you if I brought you in as a baby. Like it's actually going for the full thing that you actually are royalty, but you're raised this way? Okay. Why were we separated? Misfortune. One day bandits came and kidnapped you. Presumably you were hired by the Barnier estate because they didn't want your existence to come to light. I consider a miracle you're still alive. No, I can only imagine the stern look on my face as I listened to the woman speak. Part of me did indeed want to take everything she said as true. Want to believe I was someone important. I couldn't convince myself I had anything other than a commoner's blood running through my veins. It would appear you've done your research. I don't have any other family to the best of my knowledge, which does make me a good candidate for you to step in and claim your stake on. If I were to guess, your child with the Lord has either passed away or never existed at all. Or, a miscarriage. It's probably true that you worked at the Barnier's Manor. It's probably true that you had relations with the former Lord. You were chased out, and now you live in poverty. You want to go back to your former, more comfortable life. And while you're at it, take vengeance on the current Lord. But being a woman, you had no means to accomplish that yourself. So you came up with the idea of using a fake son. If the child were still alive, he would be right about my age, wouldn't he? And we look similar enough for you to convincingly claim we're related. But the biggest reason you chose me is because I made something of a name for myself. Because I was one of the people involved in inciting the revolt 3 years ago. The perfect choice to spearhead a revolution. How dramatic. The man who set the Lord's slaves free was secretly his family. People would eat it right up. Yeah. So how far off am I? For some time, the woman sat in silence. Eventually, she broke it, not by yelling in anger or desperately trying to refute me, but with a smile. I knew very well what lurked behind that smile, too. Scorn. You're sharp for a filthy peasant. Let's see, I chose wisely. I was right. She was a manipulative, conniving shyster. Okay? But that I could work with. That fits so much better. I wasn't royalty. I wasn't a hero. I was a filthy peasant. And I'll make this filthy peasant go and make the new revolution, I guess. For honesty, I guess, No, doing honesty to make this lie happen, to make it become the truth, I guess. I'm in. The first thing I did after agreeing to work with the woman was not to approach the Lord, but to reveal my false lineage to my accomplices. They all thought I was joking, until I showed them the ring. Then their dreams of revolution started seeming far more realistic. Maria was the one exception. Not only did she not believe me, she tried to stop me from going through with the scheme. Haven't you had enough danger for one life? Like, it's interesting that you're trying to stop that immediately, I guess. I'm wondering what stopped Maria for just wanting to not do anything else. Like, I don't know, something saying like, don't want to see you change too much, but like, Come on, forget about all this revolution stuff. You can build up a new brothel, just lay low for the rest of our days. Does that really sound so bad? You're the only friend I've got left, Jacopo, she said, somewhat desperately. I sympathized with her concerns, but I didn't want to let this chance to gain some real power slip away. I was done having things taken away from me. Just after that one time? Wait, what do you mean, like, more things taken away? You make it sound like several things have been taken away from you. But so far, the story only showed up, wow, one girl was, chased away, not even confirmed dead, from thieves. But, nothing else confirmed the fact of, it was just random thieves, other peasants, honestly. I guess that would go into your hatred, I guess, if, like, anyone lower than you further on, we actually do get the supposed power, I guess. But, like, at this point in the story, we don't know anything of the supposed, other things are taken. And, would this just be just like normal, just animosity to other people of your own just class anyway? Like, you just have, like, just small, like, just fights someone else? Like, why does this go towards I want some real power? Like, okay. Hear me, my fellow citizens, who live in suffering the hands of your supposed lord. Within me flows the blood of the previous lord. I am the rightful heir. Behold, the Barnier's golden ring! Proof that I am of noble birth. Victims of this terrible tyrant. The time has come to start anew. And I shall be the one to lead you down that path. The poor, the hungry, the deprived. All of you, stand with me. My call to arms stoked the flames in the people's hearts. The assault on the Lord's Manor began, the same day, apparently. They were inferno, righteous justice. No one was thinking straight. I was the only one with something resembling a clear head amidst the chaos. If I were really a hero, then I would rejoice in that glorious day, the momentous turning point in the city's history. I would have been honored to have led the charge. But this was all about one woman's avarice and desire for vengeance. This is all about one man's limitation of his own weakness. I wasn't motivated by any desire to help these people. The Lord, backed into a corner, begged for his life. I decapitated him, and held his severed head up for the people. Their cheers and shouts filled the air. As I watched them rejoice, I wondered, was this the future that awaited me? The people come after me next? Was my head gonna be in one of their hands one day? The king and the other counts acknowledged my royalty. That was less because I had the Barney's ring, and more because they thought that was the best way to prevent things from getting any messier. So with their approval, I formally became the Lord of the land. I also assumed the former Lord's name, because despite his reputation with his people, it was a name people knew, and one that held far more clout than my own. And, just like that, my long-time dream of power had come true. Okay, so you just took the name that everyone knew that was your name, but I'm assuming everyone just forgot what your old name was, honestly? Or anyone who was new to town honestly just hear that, and everyone just forget about your old name? Okay then. Okay then. Okay. So it became your old name, just became a symbol of you just being powerless, I guess, in that sense. It probably just is like I just don't quite get it, or like I don't quite like relate to that. It could just be on it most likely just is that, so I'm not understandable to it, but like it just sounds like it just sounds kind of stupid. Again, there's only just one loss, like, oh, I didn't get the girl. Time to revolutionize! I'm the king now! Like, what the fuck? That said, simply becoming the Lord didn't mean everything had fallen neatly into place. I mean, yeah, there's still, yeah. Many of the local noble families accused me of acquiring my rank illegitimately. They waited, fangs bared, for me to slip up. They even tried to set me up on more than one occasion. I couldn't trust anyone. On top of that, if I took too long making the improvements I had promised the people, they would start saying I was just as much of a tyrant as the previous lord. Yeah. It's like being a crosshairs on two different sides too, so yeah. There's only so much I could do at once, though, especially with my hands so full fighting off the vulturous nobles. Exhaustion soon began to set in. This wasn't the world I was looking for. The one I wanted to show Morgana. And still went to it anyway. It was day after draining day of betrayal, constantly had to look at her over my shoulder, fighting to meet unrealistic expectations. I was starting to lose sight of who I was as a person. Yeah, through all that, it makes sense, but again, I don't quite understand the whole thing of, like, immediately why I was fine, that you think it was better to, like, just do that, like, with Morgana, like, if I guess it's properly explained and, like, it's understandable, at least there, then sure, but right now, just like, oh, I loved this girl before, but now she's just the lowly peasant, honestly, like, okay, fine, okay, wow. I'm wondering exactly where along the lines, like, the very second, like, Jacopo, like, took as a leader, like, Maria then was, like, just, spits and just walks away from him because of that. I don't want to change that, Maria wanted to come to the church, I guess, like, now, here to, like, kill him, honestly. I couldn't let anyone see me looking weak. They would see it as an opportunity to take advantage of me, to manipulate me, to eliminate me. I needed power to protect myself from these people. attaining rank was only the first step. I needed even more power, and not to ensure no one ever be giving me orders, could ever play me for a fool. Yeah, I know there's a whole thing of, like, there's people out there who trying to play the same game as other, I guess, like, people in power that reach into that, but there's, like, a lot of different angles, honestly, there. More thinking about it. Meh. But, like, if all your, what was it? All your, actions lead to, just more and more just fitting in by, like, most not like, you're using words to fit in with everyone else, but then your actions, like, literally have you, like, fit in as well, then I'm, like, okay. Like, there's no, like, subterfuge against them, you're just purely just fitting in and using all your actions as well to fit the image, then you're not really doing both sides, you're just playing at the act and just slowly becoming them. That's pretty much all there is to it. And, that's probably the biggest reason why Maria then just left, because yeah, he just went more and more down that path, honestly, too. I turned my attention first to bolstering the economy. I provided subsidies to merchants in the city. I expanded trade routes. I made it known that people of any skin color, even those not welcome in any other territories, welcome my land, trying to bring some vitality to the city. The previous lord had evidently loved the third parties, squandering away nearly all the tax money in his own entertainment. If he had left more to work with, I would have used to clean up and repair the slums. For the time being, that had to remain another item on the checklist. I needed more money flowing through the city as a whole before I could make any headway on fixing up the poorer areas. Helping the people who need it most quickly became a secondary objective. And if that happened for like 4 years, and then even with them using Morgana to do that, it sounded more like you're helping the main city and not the poor area then, though. So then it soon became a thing to push off further and further down the line, so yeah. I had a pretty good idea what my former accomplices still in the slums were saying about me. He used us. I could practically hear them whispering. Some of them even started publicly slandering me in an attempt to undermine my authority, claiming I wasn't suited to be in a position of power because I'd spent most of my life in the slums. It wasn't long before they had convinced the people I was just another tyrant. I had hoped that no one else, would have sympathized with my position. I realized that I had every intention of helping them, and that I simply didn't have the resources for it yet. It's not like you were showcasing enough or sounding like you're talking to them, especially if you say like you don't want to show any weakness, then since you were showing no weakness at all, keeping it front and having not even showing any kind of vulnerability at any point, even if it was just because you didn't want anyone to use you or manipulate you, or have an attempt on you, honestly, it just made you look just like them anyway. Even if like there was a whole thing like you secretly decide to talk to them, that would have made everything better, honestly. Yeah. I mean, I've literally been reading a fanfic which is literally just talking, like, trying to do that entire thing. Someone being risen up to be, someone powerful, honestly. Which, yeah, it makes even more sense, like, reading through this. I really hope that fanfic gets updated. It's that, Harry Potter fanfic I mentioned before, New Blood. It's still good. It's really good. I keep rereading that story over and over again. Like, really over. And over. And over again. It's so fun to read, honestly. No one believed me, even when I tried to explain. I mean, if you just literally just sat down and did nothing and then tried to make an explanation after so long, yeah, no wonder people didn't want to listen to you. If you weren't trying to explain or like give a reason as to why you can't share things with them, honestly, instead of just like like just pushing people off and just being just completely closed off, no wonder. No wonder. In one case, I invited an old companion to my manor to discuss matters. The meeting only turned into an intent of my life. Having absolutely no one I could trust, no one could call my ally, hit me a lot harder than I expected, twisted my worldview beyond recognition. I had no need for sympathy. I couldn't show care for anyone, otherwise someone would inevitably use it against me, old friends and strangers alike. In fact, those who knew me best, those who were aware of where I come from and what I had been before, were the ones who fought the hardest to tear me down, to bring you back down from being completely just up your own ass, I guess. Which, yeah. Rules need to be created, so you double down on this persona even more, making it worse. Yeah, nice. Punishments established. I couldn't allow anyone to take this power from me. Anyone who so much as suggested I come from the slums. Anyone who dared disrespect me had to be eliminated. All threats exterminated before they could reach me. Somewhere along the line, I had lost sight of my original dream, and thus all humanity was lost, and then that didn't change at all until now. When I hear about Morgana, I'd like to use it for profit and nothing else. Wowee. Lost all my desire to do right by the people I cared about. Which again, even at all this point, like again, like Yukimaza the swordsman and like Jacopo, honestly, are the people who like probably rightfully deserves to be like tortured by the curse more than anyone else. Maria, maybe should be left out of it, but if like you used to like torture them a bit, then yeah, then it's good. As long as you don't die because of that, because like wow, holy shit. Hell, I didn't have anyone to do right by anyone anymore. Why did I need to climb to the top of the ladder? So no one could kill me. Why did I want money? So no one could mock me. Why did I want power? So no one could oppose me. 4 years passed, and I found myself in a very, very distant place. Miracle blood sounds like a sham to me, and it leads up to now. Sweet. Wowee. You never know. They said the sound of her first cry brought rain to the land where she was born, saving the whole village from drought. And they say her blood was the power to cure any disease. One day, a curious rumor came to my attention. The kind of whispering I wouldn't usually put much stock into. It said there was a witch living in a cottage by the lake. Few had ever seen her face. They claimed that she had the same voice as the girl who supposedly performed miracles several years earlier in a faraway village. The people love their stories of heroes and miracles. And if I could show some support for the churches, then maybe people would stop complaining I was focusing too much on the economy. To devise a plot to capture the witch and make use of her miracle blood. Establish a new church, have it be run by the nun the city had been fawning over for some time. They called her the Saintess. There, I would take the witch's blood and call it a miracle medicine, distributing in exchange for teeths, which the people would certainly come in for droves. And if the blood somehow did happen to have special powers, then that would make the scheme that much more effective. Ingenious. I'll worry about the veracity of the rumors later. Right now, all I want for you is to capture her and bring her to me. Yeah, that's what led to that whole conversation with him, Yukimaza. I'll keep calling him that even though we don't know his name yet. Like, how he wants to name himself right now, until he says his real name. The name he wants to go by here, I'll just go by that name for now. I was still too busy to handle capturing the witch myself, so I went and found someone to handle it for me. He's a former slave who had, several years back, massacred an entire carriage of slaves and the slave traders transporting them. Obviously not an upstanding citizen, but there was little doubt he would have any trouble apprehending a single witch. The biggest reason I chose him, though, was because he was enamored with a nun, or so everyone thought. I honestly thought it was rather hilarious. A murderer falling in love with a nun, the beauty, and the beast. I had been expecting the man to object, but he agreed almost without hesitation. It was a mansion in the outskirts of the city, which the previous lord had built for himself and had gone unused since his death. It was there to to keep the witch. It was there to establish a church. And in case I'm like forgetting right, like technically doesn't mean like I'm you can't tell if like it's from because the timeline is a bit like, you know, jumps all over the place because the mansion and the doors honestly jump around a lot. Was the mansion like technically like occupied, like it's created by the I guess the road like the the Rhodes family, or like the mansion was built and then I guess the uncle then that Giselle like was made for took residence there until he was killed. Like, is that what it was? I think it was. Someone else made it, like some unknown person we don't know. Which were kind of story like this where the mansion is like a big focal point and almost seems a bit weird. We don't know who the person is. I wonder if like that's gonna be discussed about maybe in the next game or not, the sequel. The nun would have ample space there to provide temporary shelter to the sick and needy. I thought, with what little remained of my conscience, that I was doing the right thing. If one witch, probably an old woman at that, was all it cost to accomplish such good, then a worthy sacrifice it was. Wow, you only heard very, very, very vague rumors then if you thought it was an old woman. If no one even thought it's, like, no one even mentioned at all it was, like, a young girl or anything like that. Like, wow. You just jumped on a whim about that. Holy shit, actually. I think I'm more upset about that than anything else, than, like, you not realizing it was her, actually. I'm more upset about that, like, holy shit. Like, wow. In an ideal world, it wouldn't matter young or old. A human being was an unacceptable price for anything. But this is far from an ideal world. I decided that taking what little remained of this woman's life was the best. No, the only acceptable course of action. So you decide to act on little information that you knew about immediately before even doing anything else. That sounds like a failed revenge story to me, honestly, as well. So many times, honestly, of, like, bigger misunderstandings, honestly. Prophecies. That's also, like, I guess also part of the reason I don't like the whole Feigned Destiny stories, because whenever, like, someone directly just says a prophecy, it just turns, most of the time those stories end up being self-fulfilling, and usually not in a fun way. Like, hearing it, like, leads them down into a dark path and it leads them to that happening. It's more like when people, like, the prophecy acts as a warning. It's like a warning itself. Like, someone says, like, hey, this is gonna happen way into the future, and they, like, decide to, like, do everything in their power to make sure it happens. It still happens anyway. Like, and the only reason it happened is just because they are warned about it. And that's the only reason. And the prophecy probably knows about this from the act it's actually being told to you. So you're literally just making it happen just by saying it. Which is honestly just the most asshole-ish thing fucking imaginable. It works for those stories, like, again, back then of, like, when the Greek gods, stuff like that, were, like, just major fucking giant assholes. But, like, if they do that for, like, other stories, honestly, where you're supposed to take the gods as more holy or more good or accepting thing, it becomes, like, my first thought is doubting that immediately of how good the gods are then. Like, quite immediately. Like, there's no in mind, honestly, about that. Literally. Ugh. God. That's only one of the many reasons, honestly. She would probably despise me for it, but I would gladly accept her hatred in exchange for the benefits her blood would bring the city. It's our responsibility to offer a helping hand to the sick and the poor, to pray for the abandoned souls. Morgana's words from years back popped into my head. I believe that, as aggressive, self-centered, and utterly lacking in compassion as my methods may have been, I was following that mantra. So, again, oh my god, it leads to that stupid fucking thing I hate in stories again, of, like, it's brought up again in, like, Danganronpa V3, like the second trial. Again, no spoilers there, but it has a whole mantra there of, for the greater good. For the greater good. Who cares what happens to this one person? It's for the greater good at all. Like, fuck off. Fuck off. Literally. If all it takes is one person to be, like, deemed unnecessary, how's that, like, that means that anyone else in the group can be deemed unnecessary as well. There's no way about it, honestly. Makes sense in more dire circumstances, like stuff like happening like that. But usually when stuff is more relaxed, like how that was, like, holy god, god damn it. Even if it was a bit more expedited, I guess, and, like, or pressure, honestly, I don't care. Like, holy shit. It never seeks to bother me, and anyone that decides to even do that in any sense of the matter, I just immediately lose a lot of respect for them, I'm pretty sure. Like, quite immediately. God, when that showed up in that, in V3 Second Trial, honestly, I think that was back before I even had I even realized that, like, that was a sort of injustice in my own head. I even realized I categorized in my own brain. The there thing that happened, I was literally just fuming. Like, even, I was, like, I spent the next, like, a few years after that just pacing back and forth, and sometimes rewatching the entire, like, chapter, and like reading and trying to figure out more about the victim and culprit to try to understand more, like, you know, literally parallels, stuff like that. I just kept fuming and just angrily muttering to myself about of how just mean, cruel, and unfair it all was, literally. Even with the bias that I actually did like the victim a lot. Like, holy shit. Ah, God, I hate it so much. I was offering a helping hand to people who needed it in the only way I knew how. I wasn't so dense as to think she would approve of me making an old woman pay the price for my charity, though. Like, you just took the whole assumption, old woman, witch, and ran with it. Nice. Wow. Because again, isn't like everyone like hear the voice and like connect to the girl that happened then, but just didn't bother hearing it. You're just like, oh, okay then, I heard her briefly, might as well take advantage of it immediately without saying anything else, not the scope of it or anything else like that. Like, wow. Doing this made me no better than a thug. But everything has a price. For every extravagant feast held, a dozen people go a night without food. That's simply the way of the world. I was no god. You better not be at any point in your fucking existence. I was no saint. Never. I had blood on my hands. Very. You can even see the fucking skin color of your own hands. Your pores, anyway. I was a villain. Yes. I knew no way to accomplish good without doing bad. You kind of put yourself into that position anyway. As the swordsman departed, I took some time to myself. I filled a goblet of water, smelled it, and gave a bit to my pet dog before gulping the rest of it. Wow, even though this line is literally just meant to be just like just pausing, the president to be pausing, honestly, just like thinking of everything going on. Just the fact of just goblet, smelling it. It just immediately, the smug pretentiousness of it all immediately just comes to mind immediately. Like, wow, okay. If it was like shortened, honestly, the prose, honestly, this would just be a gloss over line, but okay, the prose there is actually really, really good, honestly. Like, holy shit, that's actually really good. Are you still out there, Fata Morgana? Apparently she'd be closer than you think. What would you think of me if you saw what I'd become? Several days later than originally planned, the swordsman finally arrived at the mansion. I had chosen the observation tower in the grounds of the witch's prison, and it was there waited for him. He showed up with a burlap sack swung over his shoulder, setting it down the ground, saying, "There's your witch." I could only hear muffled grunting from inside the sack, but it didn't sound like an old woman inside. The man's clothes and bag both reeked of blood. Tell me you didn't harm her, dog. I smell blood. You only instructed me not to kill her. Mistakes were made, limbs were lost. Yeah, kind of like you didn't think everything through, you fucking bullshit artist. Because apparently you had plans for everything, but you didn't bother giving any sort of forethought to this, so, yeah. Didn't give any, you knew for the fucking thought of it, literally. You were so used to people hating, and the very second someone, without question, agreed to doing what you did, you're like, too flabbergasted to even think much more of it, and just do it, and nothing else. And then, wow, holy fucking shit. I cleaned up all the blood I got on me. No one suspected anything. That you were able to immediately recognize it as the smell of blood says quite a bit, Lord. You have killed before, haven't you? Enough yapping. She is alive, yes? Of course. I felt a tinge of guilt for the woman, but it didn't last long. Her role in my scheme, the fate that awaited her, was the same regardless of the condition she arrived in. I tossed my gaze from the man to the bag. He crouched down to untie it, revealing a young girl with one arm severed. As soon as I saw her, I knew exactly who the girl was. But why? What was she doing in the bag? Why was she the lakeside witch? What was she doing here? Why was she so pale and shaking? Why had I ordered her captured? Because you never put thought in anything. And to be quite honest, like, besides all the horrible things that happened in Morgana, honestly, like all the, like, again, like, no one should be put through this kind of thing. If I just ignored that part of, like, this quote-unquote fate and destiny bull crap, like, her then going on to curse, like, Jacopo and Yukimaza, and it's maybe a tiny bit unfairly to Mel's sense, even though she didn't know on it at the time. It's pretty fitting. It's pretty fucking fitting. It's pretty fitting. Not even a tragedy, just pretty fucking fitting. How could I have done that? How could I have let this happen to her? Morgana. My voice was hoarse and rattling. She looked at me, her face just as disfigured and hideous as it had been 4 years before. My mind flashed to her birthday, to when I considered offering to take her as my lifetime partner if her face hadn't healed in 4 years' time. Is that you? Her question yanked me out of my memories. You remember me? Did Morgana really remember me? The 3 years we had spent together. What kind of person I'd been? The boy who refused to give up putting ointment on her face? Those horribly unromantic encounters at the graveyard? The... hopefully never, but oh my god. Oh god. Her taking shots at me taking shots at her. All the time we had shared. How could I ever forget? Ghana, she remembered me? How can I ever forget all the pain and humiliation you put me through? How can I ever forget the blood Sabbaths you loved so to hold? What was she talking about? Haven't had enough, have you? Give me scars on every inch of my body was enough for you? Haven't had your fill of my blood? No, that wasn't me. I was the one to try to heal those wounds. Well, because you're the Lord now, honestly. And she didn't want to talk about her own past and her own trauma, like, doesn't matter at all. Oh shit! Are you literally like, because she's saying, like, you're crying her as the, like, this whole stupid thing that you think, she's talking about, like, the previous Lord, honestly, and she doesn't know about you taking hold of it, honestly, that, yeah? Oh my god. Oh my god, doesn't matter, honestly. I don't care with the misunderstanding, honestly. Just fucking just go. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my god. You're the man who bound me, cut me up, and called me a witch, and then tried to kill me. I haven't forgotten you even for a moment. No, Morgana, I was the man who rescued you from him. Oh, so you even recognize that, honest distinction, honestly, with the Lord. So, okay, I'm filing it away. You know what she's actually talking about. There's a misunderstanding from you there. She's misunderstood, though, because she doesn't know everything that happened since the fire, honestly. Of course. Makes sense. So, what's your reasoning for everything else then after this, honestly? Again, it makes sense that just from how, the way, Jacopo went, honestly, this amulet probably is the closest way to actually hearing his own perspective, which makes it interesting. At the same time, like, man, that means there's no easy way to actually, like, have him, like, get him out of that funk, honestly, with a mindset without, years of that. Probably by that point, like, it'll take far longer than the 3 or 4 days, honestly, at all. So, kind of, yeah, this is the next best thing, but, how to put this, actually, before moving on. Like, I'm still figuring out exactly what it is, but, like, I know certain stories I've read where, like, a lot of bad things happen, and then there is an ending or a route, or whatever one you want to call it, honestly, where it seems like the characters are doing exactly right, and what was it? Even if that ends up in a good, happy ending, even though I do like how it's written and all that, and I do enjoy how this, and how, like, Higurashi kind of, like, does things similar to that kind of thing in somewhat of a fashion. Like, there's also part of me that's wondering, like, it's too easy, in a sense? Like, something, meh. I'm not gonna say, like, it's like supernatural cheats or whatever else, or like, people just realize almost out of nowhere, like, oh shit, that's what my parents were thinking, or like comparing themselves to a different person of what's happening on. Like, don't even think like supernatural, like what's going on here, but like, the story prepares like a parallel, honestly, or something like that, like, which makes sense for like learning, honestly. Like, I'm probably doing a bad job explaining this right now, of like how I'm feeling about some things, like even some of my absolute favorites, like games, like even ones I want to show, or like, or like I'll just leave to just for my own brain to ruminate on, honestly, like to tackle that sometimes. There's probably just that thing in the back of my mind, like things that says like there was no struggle there. Let's get over it and just like take over all the mistakes, honestly, the characters learned. or like will come to learn, and just put that into I guess maybe in this world, this is a good comparison, a world where nothing bad happened just yet, no consequences, although, and like they didn't use the consequences from earlier, like the tragedies from before, and taking that into consideration here. Like, they didn't personally experience it, and they didn't personally change their minds. So, kind of feels a bit hollow, if that makes sense. Like, even the stories that had this sort of like good end where like everyone still acts in character, but they still like use like mistakes that that they kind of realize are probably in the moment uncharacteristically they realize they're probably making, and then use to better themselves. Like, it turns out for the better. It's this weird flip-flop where I do enjoy how it went with all the context in mind, with all of it in mind, but there's a small bit saying, like, can there be, like, maybe a bit of consequence? Besides, you know, this small thing, or whatever else here? Like, like, almost feels maybe a bit... I don't even know how to put it, honestly. It's some, like, don't take it all in stride. Like, that's how I think, like, this kind of stuff is bad. It's mostly just, like, this irk in the back of my head, honestly, that I maybe even can't put to words entirely. That's how I'm best gonna explain it. I don't care how much my father preaches forgiveness. That's the one thing you'll never get from me. I despise you with all my soul. I revile you with every fiber of my being. For every scar you gave me, I give you a lifetime of hatred. No, Morgana, I was not aware you knew the witch. I was not aware you knew the witch lord. His voice made my blood run cold. I didn't just know her. Morgana was... this man, the Lord. He destroyed me, mind and body. Now there's another man. He was already dead, I'd just taken his place. I come from the slums, I had been part of the slaves' revolt. I knew I had to tell her. He ruined my life. Between the sting of Morgana's accusations and my need to protect my current position, I couldn't muster the strength to do it. There was not even a whole time. Oh my god, so there was not even a time, like, because you made the 3 locks on us because of a coward, honestly. He also, again, threw out the whole thing of, like, you could talk to her one-on-one. Like, even if after that, like, you purposely put into place, like, a whole system which just encouraged your own suffering. Which, wowee, nice. Wow, good job, Mr. quote-unquote, hero you used to call yourself as, and now villain. Yeah, good job. You're fucking pathetic. God. If someone were to find out I wasn't legitimate royalty, that I had come from the slums, and everything I'd worked so hard to build up. To build up for who, though? Would come crumbling down. Do I really think it hasn't already? All I had left was my power, my rank. Is that what I actually wanted? I couldn't afford to lose that too. When did I first start straying from the path? Yes, I know her. Or, I knew her years ago. I see. What do you want to do then, Lord? You look sick. This doesn't change anything. You lock the witch up and proceed as planned. So, because you didn't plan things out correctly, you kind of push yourself into this. Like, this is not even like a prophecy self-fulfillment, honestly. This is literally just making your own bed and lying in it type thing, which honestly is more satisfying and less aggravating, honestly, to me. Like, this is pure self-internalized loathing and suffering for your own sake. Like, oh, this is great. This is better than that whole thing. Why couldn't I tell her the truth? How could I keep her imprisoned? What had I wanted power for in the first place? Would anyone ever believe me if I said this wasn't how I wanted things to turn out? Nah. Oh god, you can even tell in the drawing how young she was, honestly. It makes it even more sick, honestly, to me. Holy shit. Would anyone ever believe me? Not anymore. Before me floats a man, twisted and writhing in pain. Are we swapping back over to someone else instead of from Jacopo's point of view? Although, whether what I was looking at could be said to resemble a human is a difficult question. It's a hazy, indistinct shape, the precipice of being consumed by darkness everlasting. I know very well what I'm looking at. The moments before a man's soul shatters. Did I do the same thing to him that Morgana did to me? Was it I who summoned the darkness? Well, the pendant fell down. So, if you did, it's a weird roundabout way of well, I didn't destroy his soul. The weird magic pendant which I dropped, which I didn't know had powers, did. That whole thing. Like, it's like those little old, kid stories, honestly, where, the heroes aren't the ones that actually kill the villain. It's from something they did unintentionally killing killing, honestly, the villain, honestly, so you can't say the hero has blood on their hands, honestly, in a weird roundabout sense, honestly. Was it I who summoned the darkness? Who laid his past bare? Oh yeah, we're definitely, I think, back in Michelle's point of view. POV. Who forced him to relive those events. To experience once more everything he felt, everything he thought. Who put him through that despair a second time. I can only imagine how he must have felt, causing someone he once cared for so much pain. The things he did are abhorrent, more than deserving of reproach, and it would undoubtedly be easier for him to simply vanish into the eternal abyss. But I can't allow that to happen. He still has work to do. I still need to manipulate him to help me. God, grab. Don't even, deny that whole thing. You need him just to use him in a sense, to, speak his piece, honestly, to Morgana, honestly. Even if you're doing everything with quote-unquote pure intentions, you know there's still stuff in the background which are not as selfless, honestly. Don't kid yourself saying you're doing this. It's like before of Morgana leading you up into the tower, Michelle. And it's just outright just saying out loud if you had said before leave me and Giselle in peace and have the other three out, I would have believed you then, but you didn't, so I don't trust you at all. Wow. His story is essential. It's almost certain Morgana still doesn't know who he really is. He needs to face her, to reveal the truth with his own words. That's the only way we're gonna get her to have a change of heart. That's not all he has to say to her either. So must bring him back, pull him out of the darkness. I grabbed the man by the arm and began scouring the blackness for an exit. For some time, I see a speck glistening high above. So is it only just Michelle who saw the entire past and not the other two? I mean, the darkness didn't consume Mel and Yukimaz at the same time as well with them. So we aren't some big old happy little group, honestly, just seeing him, the Lord's old past, honestly, showed up in front of him. If it's only just Michelle and Jacopo reliving the past, honestly, that seems like a dramatic irony right there. It would be better off, honestly, if this is the one person that technically everyone knows. Everyone knows the past of, honestly, instead of just reckoning with themselves, honestly. That'd be kind of, honestly, a good send-off, actually. A very good one. After some time, I see a speck glistening high above, so I make my way upwards, back into the harsh light of the real world. And out we are. I will say, that third one with Jacopo, honestly, that was probably the most interesting one to me out of all of them. Although, what was it? I feel like it doesn't overstay its welcome. It actually, it was well paced, and maybe because some of the context that we got from earlier, along with what was it? The little bits and pieces that we learned about Jacopo. This is actually a really well paced out and well written segment. Because everything was more fresh and centered and concentrated here. All the twists and turns and I guess the emotion with it actually it's way more palpable, at least to me right now. It feels the best out of the three, honestly. It wasn't long-winded and repeat things we already knew and heard about before. Yeah. It was certainly way more interesting. The darkness parts, and we re-emerge into the dining hall. Oh, the darkness parts, not the darkest parts of the world. No. The man is still straddling me, dagger held above his head, just as he had been before I trek into his past. His eyes are open wide, and his hand is trembling. A few moments later, his fingers go slack, and the blade slips from his grasp, piercing the wood floor by my face. Hey, what was that? Yes, we saw it! Wait, no, wait, please don't say you only just saw the darkness, please. I swear, I saw some kind of black cloud or something. No! No! Come on. Come on, really? Well, I guess you could do the whole thing of, like, Jacopo needs, like, atone, I guess. The story's gonna go for, like, trying to make amends, honestly. And, like, try to keep going, but, like, no. Like, he's still gonna do, like, what's normal anyway, but, like, if he purposely chooses, like, to say what his past was to, some people around him, that'd be better, like, from his own point of view, but if he doesn't, then, like, that was the perfect chance for, like, to be revealed from him, honestly. If he doesn't choose to reveal that, like, voluntarily, then yeah. Like, obviously you had to say that out loud to Morgana, and then the other two will like, pick up on that, so yeah, that better happen. What happened to you two? We went through an entire lifetime. You have no idea the horrors that we saw. Neither of you saw any of that? Saw what? The blackness, the inky depth. If you didn't see anything, then don't worry about it. The necklace. That must have been the key to unlocking his memories. Like, why was it spiritually imbued? Like, I'm actually curious about that then. Like, if it was just a necklace that he just randomly picked out, it was just some normal necklace, why did that suddenly just become that? And actually, like, again, there's, like, brief parts where, like, maybe an item connected to some of the characters actually, like, is imbued with, like, some sort of cursed or, like, supernatural thing. Like, I still don't know what was going on with the painting in the purgatory, honestly. What that meant to, honestly. Like, I'm assuming that was Michelle's brother. George's Jorge. Yeah. So, like, when I touched the mirror in the mansion, I had no idea why certain objects showed me different memories, but I got what I needed, I think. I don't think there was anything with mirrors as symbolizing anyone to any character in either doors, though, right? It was pretty much, well, I guess you could say, like, mirror, like, using that reflected into maybe Michelle himself. I forgot. I forget what happened when you, like, went into the, like, looked into the mirror, honestly, like, what that showed, honestly. Man, that was so long ago, honestly. So long ago. And I'm still sorry that it was so long ago, honestly. Personally, really sorry. I'm fairly certain the white-haired girl is Morgana now. The things Jacopo did to her and felt for her behind the third door. Wait, like, wait, hon. You're saying, like... Okay? Wait, so Morgana literally just took your form? Made it look like how you were as a girl, and then put herself as the instigator for all their tragedies? What? I don't quite get that. Like some weird, I'm cursing you as well, Michelle, even though you didn't do anything wrong to me? I asked you to relate to me, but you didn't, so I'm cursed. Like, I took your form a different life. Like, okay. Don't quite get that. I have much more in common with him and Morgana in this life. Why did you dig that up? How the hell did you do that? Why did you show me my former self? Why did you make me watch that? Why didn't you tell her? Had you only opened your mouth and told Morgana the truth, told her you weren't the previous lord, told her who you really were, things could have turned out differently. Turned out differently how? Knowing would have only worsened her pain. You're still right. The man who once saved her life is now the source of all her misery. How would knowing that do anything but cause her more despair? it could have fucking saved her from being that way. Like, this isn't a whole thing of, like, you say a truth, and it leads to things ending up worse, ending up worse for you. Like, because of your own weird, stupid feelings. Like, if it was, like, saying the truth honestly actually would have caused you harm, because of, like, you think, like, it wasn't your fault, or anything like that, like, the truth honestly would point towards you, if you didn't have any other knowledge going on, then, like, yeah, don't say the truth, but, like, here, there's no fucking excuse! The least you could have done then was let her go free. Had already put money into setting up the church here. Her arm had been cut off. There was no turning back. So you were short-sighted then. Again, your planning was off and you went into following a rumor that you didn't even know the veracity of the claims of, and you found out was the worst possible person ever. That's on you, dude. No one else. Absolutely no one else. Spare me. Spare me these stupid excuses. You can't go back from that. Sure you can. You have a lot of them, you're stimulating the economy, right? You can deal with that. You could have, yes. You could have stopped then and there. Don't act like you know anything. You could possibly comprehend the weight on my shoulders, you dirty peasant. Oh my god, you still want to play into the act. You're right, I can't, and I'll be damned if I want to. To hell with understanding the feelings of a man who could so easily lose sight of what mattered most for a little power. Good! Yes! Let even the righteous anger take over, Michelle, honestly. Like, fucking finally. Like, Jesus, Money, power, that's not what you really wanted to hold dear. So why couldn't you let go of that? Why did you have to go and let what mattered most slip through your fingers? The two of them just like, what the fuck what's going on? And just realize, oh, just look at each other like, oh, that's what happened with you. He read your soul. Okay, makes sense. Just like, it's your turn now with sympathy. Just being read the riot act or something in a sense, like, God. Had you done anything, it wouldn't have had to even come to this. I couldn't have let people knowing where I came from. I needed wealth, rank? No, you didn't need any of that. Do you have any idea how much more gonna treasure her time with you, Maria? Do you know how she described that period? As one of the brightest chapters of her life. Those 3 years she spent at the brothel until it was attacked. She said that was where she learned how to find joy in life. No, she would never say any of that. Why do you refuse to believe me? And why are you putting words in her mouth? You never bothered to actually even talk about it. Again, the Door 3 is honestly pretty fitting, honestly. I think I was the most angry there, and I'm probably the most angry here, honestly. So, it matches up pretty well. Like, thematically and symbolically. Pretty much well. Didn't even bother to actually learn. Didn't bother to even look into it. Didn't bother to plan. Didn't bother to do anything else. Just bothered to, like, whittle away in your own place, honestly. Even though you had all the power, honestly, change it, honestly. It wasn't a thing of, like, you were cornered all sides at any point. You could even have that luxury or justification or excuse, honestly. No, you had every chance to stop, but you didn't. You didn't take that at all because you just didn't want to even look face towards it, honestly. It's all your fault. There's nothing else to it. There's nothing else towards it. Nothing at all. She never opened up to anybody. You were doing the closest she ever gotten so far. That's all just your fantasy. What do you see? What you want to see in her? You're trying to convince me something that was never there. So you're dehumanizing, honestly. Which, wow. Even if you're just in denial, honestly, or just bargaining, honestly, or just in anger mode, honestly, like, holy shit. No, I think he's right, Lord. I believe she did feel that way. The day I killed that carriage full of slaves 4 years ago, this girl you're talking about, she was there. That can't... And she said this to me before I began my massacre. I'm sad because I didn't get the chance to show my gratitude to her people who are very dear to me. She was crying as she did it. So that's who she was talking about. It was you. There's no way. When exactly did the brothel attack 4 years ago take place? It was the winter. I see. Winter 4 years ago is when I met the girl too. That reminds me. She mentioned something unpleasant happening to her 4 years ago during one of our conversations. That she was forced to part ways with the people who taught her that humans are capable of kindness. She was talking about you. And look at that, that reputation is just gone. Like, you put on this persona, honestly, like, when you met certain people, honestly, kept that up. Man, the one, like, friend conversation Higurashi, honestly, just becomes more and more, like, good, well, like, more and more impactful by the day. Not even just for the whole friends keeping secrets part, but just from who you acknowledge or associated with, or you meet at first, even if you're not friends with them, honestly. Like, there's still time. You can still set Morgana free. You could still reveal your true self to her. She was likely in shock that day, not seeing or thinking straight. She still thinks you're someone else. Hearing you were the Lord, it set something off inside her, preventing her from seeing who you really were. Her time, the previous Lord's captivity, left scars even deeper than she knew. So all it took was that one word. In her eyes, you became him. Which isn't to say you haven't caused her much pain yourself. I still believe your truth is the key to allaying her hatred. It would change your perception of the world. I'm certain of it. And I still think Maria should be up there in the tower, honestly, as well. Like, even as a contrasting good force, honestly, as well. Yeah. Unless you really, like, it really just needs to be, like, she needs to confront all three bad things all at once, I guess. First. So please, release Morgana and spill your heart for her. I was planning to end it all with the Harvest Festival. What? I was already planning to set her free then. So you delayed it until it was too late. Wow. Wow. It's not even like you were taking steps to make it, like, so, like, talking to her, like, doing something small, honestly. Like, making things happen, like, better than that. You're just planning everything in the shadows, honestly. Nothing else too good for it. Which, ugh. Until then it was too late. I knew damn well it was much too little, much too late. But I needed an excuse to face her. Some occasion to give me that last nudge. Ah, God, it's this door 3 all over again, I guess. So tell myself that's gonna be the day. That's when I'm gonna do it. But you had to show up out of nowhere, digging my past, throwing all my plans out the window. So we're just gonna say that she dies before we even do this plan at all? You still think I'm the reason your carefully laid plans fell apart? I'll let her go during the Harvest Festival. Tomorrow she goes free. Tomorrow is too late. What difference does it make? When the bell tolls noon the day of the Harvest Festival, Morgana dies. I have more than enough of your so-called prophecies. I'm done. Why do you still refuse to believe me? I'm not making anything up. I'm from the future. I know how this ends. Having an occasion and a plan can certainly make it easier to take action. But you can't just wait for the right occasion for everything. Sometimes, if you don't act on something as soon as you decide to do it, you'll miss your chance. In your next life, you make the same mistakes. You lock someone up that you care about, eventually causing you to break down entirely. You're so fixated on waiting for the right occasion, you completely destroy any chance of salvaging anything. If you're set on releasing her, then release her. Jacopo! Stop being so damned fixated on your occasions already. Enough. Damn you. You're right. You're right. You don't have to tell me I'm being a fool. I'll do it. Right now, I'll do it. I'll release her. Thank you for making up your mind. I didn't make the lock require 3 keys, because the weight was too much to bear alone. It was because having others with me would force me to keep up the Lord facade, prevent me from letting anything slip up. Or maybe I was just waiting, hoping someone would betray me, make me pay. Pathetic, I know. Yeah, that same feeling, honestly. You think you did wrong, whether or not you think you did bad or not, and then feeling you have something to punish you, honestly. A lot of stories out there, even on a personal level, honestly, which, what was it, like, I'll talk about a different time. Probably another reason, like the weird thing of a perfect occasion, which I think as the more goes on, as more time went on, because I was trying to focus on my own life for whatever reason, busyness, honestly. I don't think that's ever going to be quite as attainable as I hoped some things to be out for. Still want to have some sort of impact, but it probably won't be as big as I hope and want it to be. So I'll give the game that. It's, like, relatable to what's happening so far. Which, again, oh my god, it's still almost kind of funny. Like, I'm, just see a lot of parallels happening in just your own life sometimes. Part of the reason why people, enjoy, like, these kind of games as well. Like, it hits so close to them, with something universal, or something close that happened with you. That's why people, like, enjoying it so much. Which I give this game massive props for. Whether or not I'm what's been happening now, and me deciding to go do this on a whim, honestly, like this game before transitioning to a different one, was coincidence, or like it was just the right time, honestly, in a strange way. Pathetic, I know. You can have the necklace. It belongs to you. Though I doubt Morgana will accept it. I hope you'll still attempt to give it to her yourself. Will you do that? Where did you get that anyway? From Maria? I thought she would have thrown it out by now. I assume she doesn't think very highly of me. Be honest with me. She was planning to kill you. Maybe that would have been for the best. To her, I'm nothing but a power-hungry traitor. Well, you didn't really do anything to dispel that doubt any so far, so, again, made your bed and lied in it. So, yeah. The necklace. I'll take it. Well, here you are. It's definitely cathartic. Still hate him, though. When he takes the necklace, Jacopo looks as though he's on the verge of tears. Whether from the pressure, not wanting to lose face, or simply because he's no longer able to. He doesn't actually shed any, though. The other two just stand and watch him quietly. Neither of them saw the vision of his past, but they don't pry either. Our exchange was probably sufficient to give them an idea of what happened, and if they don't know the whole detail. Clutching a necklace in one hand, Jacopo takes the head of the procession to the observation tower. And while it lasts but for a brief moment, I see an image of the young man he used to be, and slightly slouched shoulders.